Hello, and welcome back to Xpwaste, where this is episode 101, but there's no Dalmatians. I'm Michael.
And I'm disappointed in that intro. If you're new around here, welcome. My name is Oxie. And we're Xpwaste. We're a Runescape podcast, like 97% of the time. I say that because while we love talking about RuneScape more than pretty much anything in the world, we often tend to get distracted, as I'm sure we will today. But I promise you, RuneScape is afoot, as they would say in like an old-timey cartoon. If you're not new around here, we are joined by a special guest. So, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, Mr. Special Guest?
Hello, my name is RadishBoy. I go by Radish, and I play RuneScape, and I try to also bring positive energy into the world without being a creeper or an asshole. Can I say asshole?
Creeper from Minecraft?
Yeah. You can say whatever you want.
A Minecraft creeper. Minecraft sucks. I'm just kidding. I just lost a ton of viewers, guys. I'm so sorry. Whoa. I actually tried to recreate Lumbridge in Minecraft a long time ago. I love Minecraft, so.
I love Minecraft as well. It's the game that everybody goes to when you're not playing RuneScape. Well, if you don't play RuneScape.
Go back to right, November 22 when the server shut down for 2 days and we started the most bussin' fucking Minecraft server.
Oh, dude, that would have been so much fun, man.
We had like 12 people on a server from the clan just because, like, well, RuneScape is broken. Guess we'll do something else.
Yeah. No, Minecraft is solid. It's solid.
Yeah.
So, you're RadishBoy.
I am.
AKA Radish.
Yep.
Do you like radishes?
Yeah, I do. Back in the day, I used to like make sushi, and so I would eat like a lot of like daikon radishes. It's a really citrusy radish. But that's not why I like named my account. That's like not why. But yeah, it's I guess I kind of eat them sometimes.
I don't think I've ever eaten a radish ever.
Oh,
I can't remember the last, if I ever did. Maybe it was like cooked into something, but like just never take a bite out of a radish.
Radishes are awesome.
Yeah.
Isn't it radishes that you buy in Animal Crossing?
Those are turnips.
Those are turnips.
Those are
okay.
turnips.
Maybe they're the same family.
Bro,
I don't know.
How could you get, I mean, they're both root vegetables, but like there's a superior, there's a superior race in root vegetables. It goes radishes, carrots, turnips, bro. Everybody knows that.
Gosh. But turnips are worth so much money, though. You can make it. You can be a what is it called?
In Animal Crossing, you're saying?
Yeah, in Animal Crossing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I wouldn't know. I play RuneScape.
No, Michael's out here giving like actual financial advice for selling turnips.
No, guys,
he's like, all right, guys,
the export ratio for a turnip is ridiculous.
Quit your jobs, use your savings, buy some land, turnips everywhere.
We about to turn up, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, yo.
There's a cafe that I used to go to, and they have a shirt, and on the back of the shirt it says lettuce,
yes,
turnip, the beat.
Love it.
Yeah, it's
solid.
It's a great shirt. So your name, is it just like, because everybody's username nowadays is like something that they thought of when they were like 11,
yeah,
and they just stuck with it. Is that how that came about, or
no?
is there
actually,
a deeper meaning?
I was 10, but yes.
Okay,
fair enough. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So I joke when people are like, they ask like how long you've been playing this, like RuneScape and stuff. Like I literally have been playing this game for longer than they've been calculating how old accounts are, and so I just tell people like I'm older than time, but really it's 22 years ago I started playing. My first account was Darkmaster72, super cringy now, and then my second account was RadishBoy. It was either RadishBoy or Lettuce Lad, and my 10-year-old brain thought RadishBoy sounds pretty cool. Plus, my favorite Pokemon is Oddish, so I think it was like some development from there.
Right.
So
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think it's way less cringe than Nike Mikey. We talked about that with Tanzu and Vertoso. We had talked about our first ever usernames, and yeah, I was Nike Mikey.
Yeah, my first ever email was Master Jelly. So I think we've made some improvements.
I mean, I was gonna say of all of the food names we've suggested between Master Jelly, Lettuce Lad, I think Radish Boy comes out on top.
Radish. It's seriously, it's just completely, it's crazy.
They're all vegetables, though.
It sounds like you have a healthy relationship with your greens.
There was one time in high school I came back from like some buffet dish or whatever. We were on a field trip and I got a salad because like I love salad. I fuck up a salad, I tell you what.
Yes,
and
sir.
I get back to the table and all my friends are like, Oxie, are you eating a salad? I'm like, yeah, I love salad. They're like, oh, doesn't show.
Oh
like,
my gosh, dude. Yes.
Like, are you kidding me?
Hey, this is okay. So people don't understand. First of all, you can make salads hella unhealthy, and those are the best fucking salads. Okay, but this is when I was in college. I went to college for football and music, blah blah blah. It doesn't matter. I don't want. It's not a big deal. But I was eating salad, and people just assume if you're eating a salad, you're like being health conscious or something. I don't know. But I had a coach, and honestly, I love this man to this day. But he got me eating a salad, a big ass salad. And he comes up to me and he says, "You're lying to yourself." I was like, "Excuse me? I ain't trying to lie at all." Like he was trying to tell me that like eating a salad like that, you're lying to yourself. And I'm like, I'm not trying to convince myself that this is a good choice. I like cheese and meat and all the other things that go on it.
If I'm eating a
I
salad,
feel you, dude.
I'm putting feta cheese, I'm putting croutons.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Occasionally I'll do ranch. If I don't do ranch, I'll do oil and vinegar and salt. And I swear to God, I'm not going to have like a dainty salad and be like, all right, that's good for me. I will eat the entire bag of salad in one sitting.
Absolutely.
I'll go.
Do you want to know? I have a mixing bowl downstairs that is my salad bowl.
Mm-hmm.
A mixing bowl.
A mixing bowl for like a soup kitchen. Okay.
I mix
awesome.
I mix my salads in a bowl like that. Like I'll toss them all together.
Yep.
And I'll try to lie to myself every time and take out smaller bowls. And then by the time my third smaller bowl is done and the mixing bowl is empty, I'm like, I don't know why I didn't just...
Dude, now you just done wasted...
Like, I don't know why I dirtied another dish for this.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I love it, dude.
Speaking of salad, the best salad out there is a taco salad where you get to eat the bowl that it comes in. That's the best.
That is pretty solid. It's a pretty solid salad.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, taco salad's pretty good. I don't know. I really like, I don't want to call myself a basic bitch, but like, just give me like green leaf lettuce and a shit ton of vegetables. You gotta
go with some romaine, but...
I used to love romaine.
Some iceberg, maybe.
There was a period of time where romaine lettuce was like only poisonous. And because like everything was like, hey, well, if you eat romaine, you're gonna get diseases, and I'm like,
don't get the E. coli; it's gonna kill you.
Well, okay, that's a bit of a killer in more ways than one for the romaine. So I'm just gonna stay away from it. And it's been like 5 or 6 years. I just haven't gone back to romaine salads, and I tell you what, I used to love romaine exactly because I can't trust it unless I'm growing it myself, which it's like a trust really tree, man. At. Yeah,
it's like a trust tree. You chopped it down. It takes a long time to grow back.
Exactly.
I recently had an arugula salad.
Okay.
Arugula. It's a fun word. It's a good leaf. It literally looks like somebody went outside, picked some leaves off a tree, and told you to eat them. Mm-hmm. But it tastes wonderful.
Yes.
I think, Oxie, do you remember when we went to that fancy pizza place where it's like,
yes,
it's that salad.
That
they bring out.
Yeah, that was good.
Like the citrusy dressing. I don't know. We asked the waiter, we're like, hey, what's the recipe? And they gave it to us. I'm like, I will be making this whenever I find the ambition and I'm not procrastinating and being lazy. Because that happens. My ultimate favorite salad is from Chick-fil-A, not a sponsor. I get the side salad, I get an 8-piece nugget, and like the avocado ranch or whatever. It's so good.
Dude, I don't know if you remember this, but back in the day, avocados used to be so expensive.
Yeah.
But now, no, there's a very good reason actually. But now they're like more readily available. You can have avocados on everything, and it's the best thing that's ever happened to this planet since sliced bread.
I love avocados.
Dude, they're
my wife is
greatest.
allergic.
She's allergic?
She's allergic.
Oh my gosh.
Or she thinks she's allergic. She
How
doesn't want
did
to
she
try
make it
you know?
past infancy?
So it developed like her fruit allergy developed later in life. She was like adolescent. So she doesn't eat nearly any fruit. Like she can, but it's like, did you want to take the chance and have to go to the hospital?
Yeah, that sounds miserable.
No guacamole, no avocado toast. It's really unfortunate.
Yeah.
I live on that stuff.
Dude, yeah, it's like, I mean, good shout for you for like, oh, my wife's allergic to this. I'm still buy it. I don't care. You know?
Avocados are so good.
The RNG, babe. The RNG, you got to work with it, you know?
Are you going to have a meltdown if I like open it up and you smell it? No? All right, good.
No, she understands that like she can't eat it. She doesn't really want to eat it. She's never really tried it. So there's not that desire. Like I think the only thing she said she does miss is pineapples. She used to eat pineapples as a kid.
Oh, yeah.
And can't now. That's like
Dude,
one of the worst. Just the smell like makes her throat itchy.
Bummer. Pineapple's the only fruit that eats you back, dude. It's a true story.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'll take that. I'll take that risk every time. I had pineapples with my breakfast this morning. I don't care if the acid tears up my mouth.
Yeah.
I want it.
There's something special about it, man. It's a great fruit. And it's like, you know, when you bite into it, and it doesn't look like, from the outside perspective, if you were like somebody that's never seen a pineapple before, you find one like wild, you know, it doesn't look inviting. And it's not like, you know, it doesn't.
It really doesn't.
It really doesn't.
It looks like, hey, don't touch me.
Yeah.
I'm poisonous. I'll go on record and say pineapples are good on pizza. That's a statement I stand by. It's a universally hated thing that I don't understand, because like savory and sweet is a good combination. And when you cook a pineapple, it changes its whole
your life.
Yeah, it changes your life, and it changes the way that the pineapple interacts with you and your whole self. It's good.
I have a follow up to that. In my possibly kind of mean opinion, if you don't like pineapples on pizza, you got childless taste buds. You gotta grow up a little bit. You gotta learn to love the sweet and the savory at the same time.
It depends on how big it is, dude. It depends on how big it is.
All right, well, okay, it's uncomfortable for anyone, even if you're like me and you love pineapple. If you got like a thick piece of pineapple like that,
dude, that's how it is every time. It's so they make pineapple pizza wrong. If you've had pineapple pizza and you don't like pineapple pizza, that's because you had shitty pineapple pizza. Now, I very occasionally agree with you. I like it too, but it's got to be the
tiny ones, the little tiny slices.
Yeah.
Yep. Not because the pineapples are bad, because if they're too big, it will completely just like...
Yeah, and they hold heat differently.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So like if you get them really hot, it's like little rocks of molten lava.
Oof.
Like pizza rolls, but it's only magma on the inside.
I have a very strong opinion that if you don't like a food, and like you just said, it's probably because you ate it wrong. There are so many times where growing up, I didn't like fish. But I've tried fish as an adult where it was prepared correctly. And I'm like, that's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
There are some things where it's texture based, or like you have a gene that makes it taste like soap, like cilantro. There's people who they can't eat cilantro because their body thinks, or like there's a gene where it just tastes terrible and they can't do anything about it.
That's so sad.
It's unfortunate.
I don't have the soap cilantro gene. I just don't really like cilantro that much. I don't know why. It tastes like an herb should taste. It's just, I don't know. You know, I don't mind it if it's in like small quantities, but like I absolutely, and this is why not liking cilantro is kind of a problem. Second only to probably Italian food, Mexican food's the greatest food on earth. I'll go feral for Mexican food.
Yeah, it's pretty good, man.
Sometimes,
like the authentic stuff.
Oh my god, when it's just the authentic. We got a place in town. I took Michael for episode 99, and I went there yesterday too.
Oh, good. I was going to ask, have you gone back?
I did. I went there for the first time with Michael, and I went there again with a friend yesterday. I had possibly the greatest burrito of my life at Azteca's. That shit was fantastic. Sometimes with authentic Mexican food, it's like only cilantro. And I'm trying to like struggle to eat through it because everything else is the top tier delicious, but the cilantro is just overwhelming.
Maybe it does. Maybe you do have the soap gene.
But it doesn't.
Like,
it doesn't. I taste it like I would taste dill or basil or anything like that. I don't like the way it tastes. So I like it in smaller quantities. But sometimes people are like, all right, here's a taco and here's a whole head of cilantro. Enjoy.
It doesn't have heads, but yeah, it grows in like it's like
like a stem. You know,
here's a whole bushel.
I was gonna say, I don't think you're eating cilantro if it's coming in heads, like iceberg lettuce. That's not cilantro, brother. I don't know what it is.
But yeah, I think that if food is prepared correctly, it can have a completely different. You can have a completely different view.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could say I don't like chicken, but you like the last time you had chicken is somebody boiled it for you, and it's all dry.
Yeah, and it's garbage. Yeah,
it's garbage. So I say if you like, you have to try something at least twice, and not by the same person.
But
so
not drugs. Don't do those.
No.
Nope.
No.
Just gotta throw that in there, you know. You just
Michael
told me that I gotta try things twice, and I didn't really like.
There's
Coke
people
the
out
first
there who
time.
think that I told them it's okay to watch this podcast while they're driving, and I want to go on record again to tell you to pull over if you want to watch the podcast. Don't
watch
podcast
with your
and drive.
ears.
Or watch with your ears. Yes.
Yeah.
Because like on Spotify, you can just open the app and watch our faces. It's very convenient.
Yeah.
But don't do that. Just
don't
close the phone. Put it on the
Mhm.
seat next to you and just listen. And if you want to see our faces, pull over. That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah.
So RadishBoy, you're into radishes. My in-game name is Bloodhound.
Fantastic.
But I don't go by Bloodhound because that's weird. I think the nickname for Bloodhound is Blood, and I'm not into that.
Yeah, I think I've called you Blood one time when I first met you, and it just felt uncomfortable.
And I just said, "Don't do that."
And I was like,
thank you,
don't, thank you, because I really didn't like that. I really didn't like calling you Blood. The one time I did years ago, I'm like,
interesting.
That's why I go by Michael, because like everybody else we've talked to, it's like it's their username. Like besides Hanani, we called her Hannah, but everybody else like, hey Zulu. I know your name's John, but hey Zulu.
That's funny, because I appreciate the anonymity that it provides.
True, that's true. Actually,
I'm not trying to like be like anonymous or anything like that, but I like the idea that as children, we play a game and we get to know people like through an online persona. And then as adults, we can actually still carry on that like mentality, but coupled with the fact that like it can be our jobs, you know, and there's nothing childish about it. Depending, I mean, if I'm like Dong Slayer 47, and then, you know, I wouldn't want people to call, you know what I mean? Like there's a level to it. Like, by the way, if you're listening right now and you're signing up for a job or you're doing a job thing and your resume and your email is not your name, change it. Don't be putting pussyslayer69 at Gmail. Nobody wants to hire that guy or girl. You can slay that if you're a man or a woman, but I'm just saying. They don't care to know. Trust me, I've seen it on resumes, man, and I'm like, not that specifically, but like some extremely like childish email. Well, I've had it for so long. Well, it's about time to change, okay? So anyway, it's quality of life. You can't tell I didn't teach you anything.
Just make a new email. No one really like. You don't have to ever use it except for putting it on your resume.
Yep.
We'll be billing everybody for our new class, how to build a resume. After this,
absolutely. Yeah. Brought to you by Radish.
Yes. He's the new guy.
Sir Radish. We got to be professional.
Mr. Radish. It reminds me of the Tootsie Roll. Mr. Radish. But it's Mr. Owl. Nope.
You're on your own. Sorry.
Okay. So what are you doing in game right now? Are you playing RuneScape as we speak?
I am modeling a lid.
Oh, so you're like doing real stuff.
We hop into this VC, Michael. We hop into this VC. And he goes, "You any good at doing math on the fly?" And I'm like, "Sure." When someone says that to you, what do they mean? Basic addition, basic multiplication. He says, well, the diameter of this lid is this, and I got to figure out what kind of clearance I have on either side. So I got to do this. I'm like, this motherfucker's giving me a Saxon math question. I don't want to do this.
I got to cover this bucket. And like Walmart, you done great things, right? With providing everything in one store. That's fantastic. You don't sell lids? Are you stupid? Respectfully? They don't. I was like, yeah, this is perfect. I would like to put a thing on it. You know, like everybody knows what a lid is. And, we don't sell lids. What do you mean? You don't sell lids. No, so I was like,
just use like plastic wrap, right?
Yes, you're right. You could. And I might do that because my print just failed but I just figured I'm just going to make my own lid.
Is that a bamboo? What you call it?
Bamboo X1C. It is.
Is that what that is?
It is.
I'm very jealous. That's a beautiful printer.
It is undoubtedly the greatest purchase I have ever made. And I will vouch for Bamboo. There's like people that are like hard stuck in the 3D printing world that are like, it's not fair because it's got like auto.
Authentic.
Yeah, it's your thing. And I'm like, bro, that machine has saved me dozens, thousands, probably not thousands yet, but hundreds of hours of just like the stuff it can do. Oh,
I mean this revolutionary. I say this with no ill intent towards anybody, but it's like the people who like to drive manual just because they like to do something versus people who just drive an automatic car because it's convenient. Like 3D printing is very hands-on. You're tweaking things, you're calibrating things, but I imagine with the Bamboo, like it's fast, it's efficient, it gets things done. You don't have to switch your filament out.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know
when it runs out, but yeah, I see.
Doesn't it have? No, I mean, like, doesn't it have like 3 or 4 slots at the top where you can do multicolor printing?
Yeah,
that's what I mean. Like, you don't have to stop your print, change the filament, restart the print. Just does it all for you. And I know that you can add. I have a 3D printer in the corner. You can't see it. It's the Anycubic Viper.
Okay.
It was like the step up from the Ender that it had auto leveling. It had all these nice things.
Cool.
Double Z axis. I haven't printed literally in probably a year. I don't know.
Okay.
I know. I have
how do you not? I save so much money in my daily life.
A stack of runes that.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
I still need to print, or I still need to paint them.
Yep.
I put them on my desk because they were back there, sitting on the shelf where I would never see them. So I put them on my desk so that they're front of mind.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna paint them all and put them in a shadow box.
Cool.
So the reason I don't print every single day, 2 reasons. I'm not good at Blender. I'm not good at 3D modeling enough to like say, I'm missing a lid for this container. Let's just print one up. I'm not good at that. And
is it something you would desire to be good at it? Because my question is always just why? Why are you not good at it?
I don't know. ADHD, I think.
Bro, shut your mouth, bro. I am diagnosed ADHD. I am and so like as an adult, it's only been 2 years as like an official diagnosed ADHD adult. Yeah. And it is so hard.
It's very hard.
But you can do it. If you're a legit diagnosed ADHD adult, don't use that as an excuse. I just got to say that. That's my dad moment, and then I'll back off. But like, bro, you have so much more potential than you could probably ever even understand. And like, that is the message I want to send to the internet. To the internet. This is a special internet, by the way.
Not the other one. Not the other one.
TikTok have my Wi-Fi.
But that I'm really, really passionate about it. And because there's so many times I hear people that are like, dude, I wish I could XYZ like you do. And then I always tell them like, no, like this is what happened to me this is my little preach that I'm going to get off, I swear. But, when I was in college, not at the one in South Carolina, a different one, which I don't even know if we touched base on that yet, but it doesn't matter. The salad story, was that here? Did we do that record? Okay,
that was kind of in college. Yeah. You said to South.
No. Yeah.
Don't
fool yourself. Didn't know if we talked about it while like the podcast was recording.
It was going. Yeah,
okay, sorry. Anyway, I was at a different college, and there was a lady friend of mine at the time, and she was a phenomenal like painter artist, right? And she was also just a really eclectic person and really bold. And I saw some of the stuff that she done. And if you guys don't know, like I'm like a musician, I sing and do all that stuff. And I told her, I said like, oh man, I totally wish that I could like paint like you. And she told me, no, you don't. And I was like, shut up. Yeah, I do. I totally wish that I could. And she said, you can, you just wish it was easy.
Oh.
And I was like, shit, yeah, you're totally right. But she's like, but then if it was easy, like it wouldn't be anything special. So like what you wish is that you wish you would have spent 20,000 hours before you're 20 years old with canvas and a pencil, but you didn't. Instead, you played with your toys and you know, played video games or whatever it is. Right. So for me, that was a defining moment in my life that I was like, I'm never going to do that again. And I'm always going to challenge people whenever they're like, oh man, Radish, I wish I could sing like you. I'm like, shut your mouth. You can. You just didn't practice like me. You know, and like that's like, or play guitar or whatever it is, whatever skill you want, you can have it. You can do it.
And it's not to say that it's not difficult either, because especially when you get later in life, like for me, one of the big things is the gym. I fence regularly. So my like active sport that I do is I fence 3 days a week. If you said, Oxie, I got a gym membership, I need you to go 3 or 4 days a week, you're going to get f***ed, buddy. I can't. I don't have that discipline because it's not something I grew up doing. You know, I played a lot of sports in high school. I did football, I did basketball. For some reason at my small Catholic school, the weight room, you weren't allowed to go in it unless there was at least one adult supervisor, which was inconvenient because there were never adult supervisors available.
Yeah, shitters.
The rules have since changed since I left, which is disappointing. Like my high school just made it to the state championship. They got knocked out in the Final Four of the Division IV basketball playoffs. And those guys are in the weight room every single day, and they've like developed a routine. We never had a chance to develop that, so I never had a routine going into college. I never found the motivation as an undergrad to like, oh, I live right across the street from, you know, IM East. I have a massive gym. I have 3 massive gyms on campus. I can go to any of them. I never cared. What I cared about doing was playing basketball whenever I could, or doing other super active sports. So even to this day, like I am well rehearsed in team activities, and I can do those 6 hours a day.
Yeah.
The minute we start hitting the weight room, that's tough, you know, because I don't have that practice. I don't have that kind of discipline and focus. I could get there. I don't necessarily know that I want to, because the space I would have to fill or what I would have to give up to me is not, you know, the
worth
best. Exactly. Yeah. Like I'd have to give up practice a little bit. I'd have to give up, you know, some elements of the show.
Sacrifice.
Yeah.
And you're just saying that in your life, you don't feel like that sacrifice is valuable enough to get what you would gain from like this physical activity versus the one you're already doing.
Yeah. It's not viable at the moment. You know, if I ever for some reason went full time, and Michael knows I probably won't ever go full time podcasting just because of where I'm at in life.
Meaning you wouldn't want to. You're saying?
Yeah. So
career.
My real life job, I'm a therapist. I'm a sit down, how does that make you feel therapist for kids here in the town I live in. And I'm a little too deep into schooling and licensure and like doing what I do to be like, all right, I'm going to talk about RuneScape for a living. I love talking about RuneScape. It is a ton of fun. Yeah. I love doing this show. But I don't see me being able to justify sacrificing what is essentially a lifetime's worth of work to do content creation. You know, and I think we said in episode 99 that like,
good for you to know that
everything online will someday fade, which is disappointing, but it's also, you know, it is the reality of the online world that we live in. So someday Xpwaste is no longer going to exist. It's going to be a sad day when that's the case, as long as we go out in a way that we're fine to go out, you know, but to put the life on hold for several years to do content creation has just not been something I've ever been super interested in. But if I did, that would be a case where like, damn, I got an extra 40 hours freed up. I think I might start to try to discipline myself to go to the gym, you know?
Yeah.
I've, this whole week, I have been in a very like aggressively positive mood with the kids at work.
Good.
Because the kids that I work with have a bit of a troubled history sometimes. So I'm having to like argue with 16-year-old boys that they're not bad kids. And I'm arguing with 16-year-old boys as an argument because that's what a lot of 16-year-old boys will respond to.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you are not the sum of your actions. You just have this kind of shitty past, that you're trying to work with and work through.
That's so really cool. That
the aggressive positivity that we're getting right now in Xpwaste, this shit is my jam. I love it. Like, no, stop fucking saying you can't do it. You can do it. You just got to put in the work to do it. Put your head down and do it.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Yeah. Dude, I love that, by the way. Shout out, what is it? Shia? Yeah. So, what I did before, like in the interworkings of, like post music career, pre-content career, is I was they called them family teachers, but essentially is I worked with like troubled youth, and the job itself in its entirety was shitty, but the kids were amazing. And they were little assholes, and I pretty much literally lived with them for like 3.5 days, and then I'd have 3.5 days off. But I loved them so much. There's 2 of them that I still talk to this day. They have the worst pasts, the worst history I've ever heard a human being go through. And it was literally my job to like unshitify their brain because they were just treated like horrible. And to me, like that was just in the realm of like going from a career in music / ministry and then like transitioning to something to where I'm still helping people. Specifically like the age group that is like my favorite, which is like the like teenage to young adult, like in that realm, because they can like reason, they can understand, and then you can make a bigger, greater impact on them. It's like, I loved it. But then at the same time, it was like really freaking difficult because some of them just like, it's just hard to break that, they grew up in this lifestyle where their parents were, meth addicts or whatever it is. And the inner workings of the job itself just didn't line up with like my belief system. So I wanted to make sure that I was always in a position where the people I'm around or the people that I can influence truly believe and know that they have potential, that they can be incredibly great. And if they're not, it's probably their fault, right? I hate victim mentality. It's a poison in this world. I always try to take like the blame in all situations. Like people, I just think I think it's really important. I think it's a leadership quality, and I think everybody has a leadership qualities inside them. They just got to feed them, get some more strength, and then I carry that to being a content creator. We have a pretty modest sized crew, and we go on little tangents every once in a while. You get people that are saying like, well, I'm not, like I can't tick manipulate like you, Radish. And I was like, yes, you can. Stop it. Shut up. You just don't want to work for it, brother. Like, it's fine. It's just about counting in your head.
We tell people all the time on the show, just do it and die and you'll be fine. We've given that advice for pretty much every piece of content in the game is like, do it and die. And eventually you'll stop dying.
Yeah.
Whether it's prayer flicking at, goblins or, one tick alternating in the inferno. Just do it and die and you'll be fine.
I'm a huge fan of failure. Huge fan.
Yeah.
Because you learn so much.
And I don't know if it's necessarily like, the victim blaming mentality of like, you did this to yourself, right? I wouldn't call it that because I don't think it doesn't give credit to what you're doing with that statement, right? It doesn't adequately describe what's going on. I recently had a conversation with my supervisor where it's more of a realistic thing. You're being realistic with them with what you're talking about. If you got to a point where we'll use drugs for an example. If you have used drugs for several years and the addiction has caused your life to get to a point you're no longer happy with, realistically, that is where we ended up.
Yeah.
That is like you did that, right?
Yep.
That is not to say you cannot do more and you cannot do differently. Like, if you want to acknowledge what someone has done realistically, you're not going to beat around the bush with something like that. You know, the you did this to yourself has validity, right? It's the key difference between, you know, being realistic and being victim blaming is following it up with like, now what can we do differently?
Yeah, I do want to make sure, because I feel like with the way you're describing this, we might not be on the same exact thing. It's not about me telling somebody that like you did this to yourself. It's about the emotional intelligence to know, like, I put myself in this situation. And now again, if that's something that somebody else is pushing on you, it doesn't feel genuine, and it's a lot of the times it's hard for people to change whatever it is on whatever spectrum, because you have to have like inside change for there to be like any sort of like actual movement forward. And so, and like I said, I mean, that comes back in many different scales through RuneScape related things or through like real life related things. It's, many things overlap, you know, with like one of the things, if we were to bring it back to RuneScape, is even though like for me, I love PKing, right? I am horseshit at it, but I love it. I love it. It's so much fun. I have a very strong stance on, if you go out in the wilderness and you're doing something and you die to a PKer, that like, just, you know, just that simple of a statement, like, bro, that's on you. I don't freaking care.
That's the food chain, baby.
I treat PKing like freaking trophy hunting, which, by the way, trophy hunting, I've said this on the podcast, the other podcast I was on, trophy hunting is shit. And if you kill animals for the sake of killing animals, you're a piece of shit. But if you eat them and stuff, that's good. But if you're just doing it for their heads, you're a shitter. And so, but in RuneScape, it is my prime. I love it. I thrive on it. I seriously, it's like,
it's not about the loot.
So
it's about
funny.
The thrill of the kill, right?
Yeah, it's so fun to me. And because I've been killed dozens of times. My main account I play is a Hardcore Ironman. I love hardcores. It's like the only thing that really, really gets me going. But when I'm out in the wilderness, like, I can't wait to get my first hardcore kill. That's gonna be freaking sick. And I hope he's wearing full graceful. You know, like, he can get 1,000 gold in his inventory. I don't care. You're dead, brother.
It's not about winning. It's about sending a message, right?
Yeah, and the message is like, as long as they're not crying about it. I've been killed many, many times, and I've lost full graceful on an Ironman. I've done it all. But on stream, I always say this, and I say it in my own personal life. Like, I don't make an excuse. People, even in my stream, my community are like, dude, stream snipers, they're pieces of shit. I was like, no, they're not. They're taking advantage of a prey that they can physically see sucks at the game, and I'm carrying 3 mil on me. It's a predator mentality. And I say, props to you. Kill me if you want to. You know, I'm not going to tell you that you're a better PKer than me, but you definitely took advantage of it, and props to you. I love it.
If you are streaming in the wilderness, like, you can't expect somebody not to do it just because it's against like your moral code. You know what I mean? Yep.
And so, and I remember I talked about this with Zoe and all the guys from Based, and Zoe said, like, mentioned about people that stream snipe to just harass. I'm like, that's horrible. Don't do that. But if it's like you're stream sniping to take advantage of like where that person is in the wilderness to then get their gear, at least for me, you won't ever hear me complain about it.
You know? I'll complain, but I won't be personal attacked.
Yeah. That's good. That's good.
I lost my shit, and I'm gonna be mad that I lost my stuff, but it's not gonna be a personal attack.
Yeah, it'll be on myself because I'll be like, man, I shouldn't have risked it. I'm stupid. You know, like, what was I doing? It's not gonna be like, shame on you for doing what the game allows. You know, I don't know. It's like, and I think the wilderness needs to be way more broken when it comes to XP rates, but it needs to be way riskier. Like, way riskier. Like, because I think personally, like, for a hardcore Ironman, what gives value to these like amazing hardcore Ironmen is for me anyway, like death gives life value, because if we all just live forever, we wouldn't give a shit. And so that's what really draws me to that hardcore lifestyle. And by the way, I don't know if you guys there's a poll out right now. Everybody vote yes. It's the escape crystal upgrade that if you DC, it automatically freaking teleports you to safety. Mm-hmm. That is like the greatest. It's like the greatest update. Mm-hmm. It needs to happen.
It's like wearing a ring of life without wearing a ring of life.
Correct.
Which is great.
But it said that
they should add it to the
one.
ring of life as well.
It's proposed for both.
Right. It's like I briefly read it, but is this the one where if you essentially like your account stops moving for any given amount of time, it just automatically, and you can set it.
Yeah, you can set the time that you want it to be.
Moving for 30 seconds.
Not moving, because that'll send the wrong message to people
like
listening.
Giving input.
Interacting with the client.
Mm-hmm. So like if you're standing still cutting trees, but you're just like spinning your camera or whatever, versus if you DC it bloat.
Right. Well, then also like people are going to, because I've already seen people like shit on the idea. They're like, well, I don't want to be like, mining or doing this thing and just like teleport. I'm like, when have you carried an escape crystal on you in the mining guild?
Right.
Like you're arguing about something that doesn't even make sense. When are you going to take those with you? You're going to take them in dangerous areas. You're not going to be like taking an escape crystal to.
It's going to be a choice. It won't be just like a buff on your account. It's a choice.
Yeah. So
it really would be a hindrance in some situations where you like redwoods, for example. That'd be so annoying. You don't take redwoods unless for some reason you're doing redwoods on a PvP world as a hardcore Ironman.
Totally,
which is like
totally do. By the way,
yeah, that's like probably a handful of accounts that are like PvP hardcore Ironman only.
No, do you want to know why I do redwoods on a PvP world specifically? Is because I dress up my other account. This is like a little cheat code if anybody wants to know for speedrunning stuff. But I dress up my main account in, what is it, like a granite helm, Torva plate body, granite legs, malediction ward, and the Moon Clan boots. It's the largest negative to range. And I use bronze darts and an accumulator. And I attack my account and I 2-tick redwoods like a nerd.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah.
Sweaty but effective. Good.
Yeah, it's awesome. I don't do it like frequently, and I'm not doing it right now, so don't be looking for me. Because it's multi-combat. So
this is the second time you brought up speedrunning.
Yes.
What are you actually speedrunning? Like, what is the goal?
So my desire as a content creator and a father, and like prior to this, like I was a full-time worker, is I want to be able to create a guide. Really a plugin, because we have people that are like working on an actual plugin that is going to take that like standard Osiris Ironman guide, and it's going to like hyper efficient size it, which is not a word, but like bring it to like 2023, and I want it to have like planned exit strategies for people that don't really want to follow a guide specifically. But what I kind of like, my target audience is like the mother and the father that work full-time job, but also want to be like good parents and not be shitters. But when their kids go to bed, they want to spend 2 or 3 hours playing RuneScape. And sometimes I remember back in the day, I'd get online, and this is before I was like content creating, and I didn't know what to do. And I would just waste my freaking time. And then I felt like, dude, I didn't even do anything. And then, but like with this guide that I have planned out, I mean, some of the stuff that we have that aligns is just like so well thought out. And I'm not up in myself. I'm up in my community right now. And we've gotten so far in depth. We've hired like literally through Fiverr, like mathematicians to give us like exact stuff so that we could figure things out. Like we've just like gone really obsessively overboard with it.
Yeah.
And then we're we're typing it all out and we're putting it out there for like the general public to use for free through RuneLite. As it's going to be like essentially a quest helper plugin, but on a massive scale for an entire account. And this would be for Ironmen. But for me specifically, I just love playing hardcore Ironman. Now it's going to like weigh the risk to reward ratio, you know? So it's got you doing waterfall early because you're not really, if you die, you die. Who cares? Because you're, 4 hours, 6 hours into the account. So, but with that in mind, my goal as a personal thing is I want to have the world record for fastest hardcore Ironman to max with specifically in-game time. So that's like what I really, really like. That's where my heart and passion is. I love doing it. And so we've thought of like some really obscure things and some things that take like a hell of a lot of time to do, but not in game. Just like you got to wait for spawns. You got to do stuff. You know what I'm saying? So like,
gotcha.
And then also we're starting to like debate really heavily. Sometimes it gets really heated, but people, if you don't take it serious, if you don't take it personally, it can still be like a really, really fun like conversation to have. Because a lot of people like they have really strong passions about certain specific things in the game. And if you follow a guide as well planned out as the one we've been crafting, graceful armor is a waste of your time. Like great, it's a massive waste of your time. It's so inefficient to do it now. However, because people are probably like, turning in their seats right now. If you're somebody that doesn't follow a guide, if you're just meandering around the world, then it's very, very beneficial, right? Because what it's doing is it's allowing you to run a long distance and go, oh shit, I didn't want to go that way. And then you go over here, you run that distance and, oh, well, I'm going to go over here now. And it was really insufficient or inefficient. Travel is made easier with the graceful armor. But if you know exactly where you're going, how long you're going to be there and what you're doing, you don't need run restoration because you're going to get there and then you're there. I'm not going to fish 7 sharks and then run over here and do this thing. So now there is still some people in my community and I love you guys so much, but there's some people that still hate my stance on graceful. But the best time to get graceful is literally from level 90 to 92. It's the best time to get it.
What about questing though? If you don't have if you don't have stand pots or energy potions as an Ironman, it's Walkman mode. But graceful helps with that a little bit. You can't. I just did a Tale of Righteousness.
It's not Walkman mode,
and it was Walkman mode.
If you know about other in-game items that provide run restoration, which is the strange fruit, papayas. Those also give 5% run energy restoration. And when you're thieving from Hosidius, some of the best thieving experience, is the fruit stalls. And so if you bring baskets with you and you save all your strawberries and all your stuff, and you only save strange fruit, gold vanilla vove fruit, or whatever the heck those are called, and papayas, like they actually last for a lot longer than you'd expect. Now, I'm not saying that agility levels are not worth it, because agility really, really helps with run restoration. You just don't do it by the means that everybody assumes you do it by, right? Which is rooftop courses.
Go to wilderness, or
no, the best. I mean, really, it's going to be 60 through barbarian fishing, which you're also going to get all those extra strength levels. Which is, it's not that rough. You 3-ticket if you really want to get crazy. But then,
so you're saying you get to 60 by just barbarian fishing?
Don't you theoretically need agility levels to start barb fishing though? Or are you just talking like
18, right?
Like
you do,
and
that's okay. You can get you do the norm course till 10. Like all of that, you got to do that stuff. Like, but that's the necessity. And I don't remember. It's been a while since we've been back there, so I'd have to look at my guide except to see exactly how we did that. But yeah, once you're 15, once you're 15 agility, you're good to go with barb fishing.
Did you for your?
Yeah,
because I think that this is actually pre-podcast talk, but can you tell the story about the blue heron again?
Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, sure.
So we had a question in the recording booth chat. They said, "Hey, Radish, what's your stance on the heron pet?" And then he went into this whole story about it. I'd like you to tell that again if you want, if you can.
Yeah. So I said the heron pet is like it's the greatest pet ever. Now
and
that was more of wait, what? Sorry.
No, and then I pieced out.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know. I don't think the heron pet is the greatest pet on Earth.
Is that a visual thing, or just like you've never gotten it, or something, or what?
I don't have it on any account, but I also don't think it represents fishing in the way that they could have made a pet that would be epic for fishing. Like,
go on.
You could have the way that the Kraken pet or the Zuck pet is like interacts with the ground. You could have had a fish that like swims through the ground like a shark, and you just see you see the top of the shark and it's like tails going back and forth. Or you could have had a fish that was diving up and down. Sure. It could have represented the fish that you caught. You could have a little lobster, like a massive lobster following you. I don't know. It just seems lazy. Not lazy. It seems like bad game design to have it be a bird that you get from fishing.
Sure.
I know that the heron is a good fisher. I won't deny that. I have childhood trauma attached to the blue heron. Not really. Trauma is a serious word. I have childhood memories of not liking herons because we had a koi pond. The blue heron would come and just eat up all our kois, and they were beautiful fish. And it's like I remember hating them. All of that aside, you have a wonderful story about the blue heron, and I want you to tell it.
Yeah. So when I was prior to content creating, I had an idea. Everybody was doing these like snowflake accounts, and I wanted to do a snowflake account as well, but I wanted to take it to the extreme. At the time, I was working a desk job, like from home. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, I wanted to do an account that was like called The Pet Guy, where I just had to go for one pet at a time. But like I couldn't like do anything other than something that would provide that pet for me.
Yeah.
And so I made little exceptions along the way, and I started I actually have a video on YouTube, which was I sent to Mr. No Sleep, and I was like, you can use this if you want. He never used it, but he was like, dude, this is cool. But it's I kept track of every single thing that happened inside the fishing guild for 25 million experience harpooning sharks. And and it was like, it was insane, dude. It was like all the random events, all the things that I got that was exciting to get from like mysterious boxes and stuff. Yeah. And I opened them all. It was really, really cool. And I stuck with, I was 10 HP. The only thing I leveled was my fishing. And
you looked like a bot pretty much.
Yeah, dude. I actually like, when I started, streaming on that account, I had started like second guessing, like just doing that, right? Like every day it was pretty much just like, I played RadishBoy for a little bit, like my main account. But I really liked fishing on this account. I really wanted to like take it further. And, there's a bot detector, plugin. And there was like, it was like,
we know all about that. Don't you worry.
Oh, okay. It said like, I think the highest it would ever somebody read on mine was like 17% accurate that I was a bot. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. Like I kept trying to get it more and more. And like, I'd be sitting on there and I was like, all right, I'm only going to use my mouse, like my keyboard keys to move my map. And then, so like I wouldn't use the mouse button and stuff. It was fun for me. But yeah, 17% is like all it was. But eventually like through content creating and that like pressure that I put on myself to like do more engaging content, as I started making excuses for like doing other skills, but only if it led to the pet I was going for, which led to aerial fishing. I did 200 hours of aerial fishing. I have every single drop from aerial fishing. I have 5 golden tenches. Like it was intense. And that's actually like where the content creation like start of my like world started to take off. Like
Yeah.
people, I remember people coming in, and this was like 1 month into content creating, into like streaming. And people are like, how is your channel growing if you're just sitting on this island? And I was like, bro, I don't know, dude. But I'm up to 600 mulch pearls. Let's go. Like we literally, it was great, dude. And then like, as somebody who did literally like spend dozens and dozens of hours for a specific like fishing sack, which costs 1,000 mulch pearls, which literally took me like 100 hours to get, which is way over the like drop rate, if you will. But some of the aerial fishing I tried to do was like AFK, which is a horrible thing to do. AFK, it's really inefficient. But when they came out with the fish barrel, which actually has a use because the fishing sack did not have a use, it just was on your back, and it's purely cosmetic and just outrageously expensive to get. They came out with the fish barrel, which you can now put in the fish sack. It's actually more inconvenient to have the fish barrel in your fish sack than it is to just have the fish barrel in your inventory. It's it's so annoying. Because when you go to a bank interface, much like a looting bag or like what other things, herb sack, right? So the fish barrel, you can literally shift left click it and it deposits everything inside of it. But if that is on your back, you have to take the backpack off, right click, like you can't, which you can't do in the bank. You have to take your backpack off in the inventory. Is what I'm hearing. No, not worth it at all. But what they need to do is they need to make it worth it. You know what I mean? Because it does take so long. Like even if it gave you a permanent +1 boost to fishing, like the fishing cape, when you put it on, you get you go up to 100. Yeah. Or if it was, I don't even know. Like something along the lines, like maybe you have a 5% chance that when you catch a fish, it just goes to your bank. Like, because it takes so long, dude. It's like, maybe some people are like, dude, that'd be so broken. But like, who have you seen?
5% is not that long.
No. Well, I mean, yeah, who knows? Because you fill up your fish anyway pretty quickly.
Yeah. Right. 5% is not that much.
Right. But yeah, I just think like, I don't know. There's a lot of things I think in this game that are just overlooked, but if they gave just tiny little niche benefits, it would be so much more better for the cosmetic community, in my opinion. Or like for people that like cosmetic stuff. Like I loved it when I was decked out in my fish sack with the fish barrel, full spirit anglers with like my equipable rods and a golden tench. Like that was so cool. But like you don't get to really utilize it. You don't get to see people in the world with it. So anyway, from that,
that's the run energy problem right there. That's the graceful scape problem. Because if everyone feels they have to be moving quickly everywhere, they can't run out of run energy. We have to go. Then you don't really get to see the fashion because we've developed this in-game meta where if you're not wearing graceful, you're either a bot or you're probably not playing efficiently.
Yeah, and people desire efficiency, which I do as well. But I think that there's a way that you can marry the two subjects. So to finish the whole heron discussion, it took me 47 million experience to get my heron pet. Took me almost an entire actual year, 362 days from the time I created the account to the time I got the heron pet. It was pretty rough. It was an awesome moment on stream. I literally almost felt like I was going to cry. It was crazy. Because, you just put in all that time and my life changed because of content creating. So and I feel like it was because of that account and blah, blah, blah. So it was just it was an awesome experience. And it was also cool at the time, having a hardcore Ironman with like, I don't know, I had like 1.7 million minnows and 102,000 sharks and 250,000 lobsters, and like it was just crazy. It was crazy how thick that was. That account was.
That's fun. And I'm assuming a pet only account. There's no pet for cooking. So did you end up cooking them all?
Right. So I split them up into thinking like there's skills that are considered pet skills and skills that are not considered pet skills. And so when I would get a pet or a 99, I would allow myself to unlock a new skill. And then it would like transition that way. Yeah. And then, but so eventually the account had taken just so many turns. And when I died and lost hardcore status, I lost like my passion to play the account. And so it just sat there for a long time. And then I thought of an idea called what we have now coined the term as Ironman mode. Which we did that and that was fun. But now that account is a normal account.
Okay.
We got de-ironed.
Did you actually de-iron it? Okay.
Yeah. So there's this in-game mechanic that if you talk to Adam, the tutor in Lumbridge, he actually puts like a legitimate 7-day timer on your account. And in 7 days, if you don't tell him to cancel it, you become de-ironed.
Yeah.
Well, we decided to turn it into like high stakes gambling. And so we attached a certain item from the collection log that my community would pick. And I had 7 days to acquire that item. If I didn't, I was de-ironed. If I got it, I would tell him to cancel it. We'd pick a new item and do it again.
That's fun.
Dude, it was a blast. However, but sticking with that like pet guy mentality, if I acquired a pet, it would allow me to just reset the time.
Gotcha.
So I was 24 hours left into getting I had to get an uncut onyx. And the best way to do that is from Zulrah. And so I told we had done 6 days of Zulrah, and I had never done Zulrah before because prior to that, we were locked to just Chambers of Xeric because I had to do one boss until I got the pet.
Oh, gosh.
And so I did Chambers for like ever. So like I've never done these bosses. I played that account for 3 years. Like there's so much content I've never done in RuneScape because I was just locked to that account.
Xpwaste listeners will know that a Chambers of Xeric locked Ironman is debatably my worst nightmare.
I've learned a lot of stuff, dude, just by living like in that raid.
Oxie absolutely hates Chambers of Xeric for no reason.
I have reasons.
Dude, I could change your. I feel like I could help change your opinion on Chambers. I love it.
Everyone says that. I've heard if I had a nickel. No, I don't need nickels. If I had 10 mil for every time somebody said, just wait till you start doing solos. Just Oxie, could listen to me. Wait till you start doing solos. I would not be as poor as I am in game. Or maybe it's 10 mil IRL. I don't know. I feel like one instance of $10 million in real life is more than enough for me to live forever, but who knows? I don't know. For some reason, I just don't enjoy the raid. It's very old, and when I was learning the raid, I wasn't learning it in a fun way. Okay. I think that was an issue for me. Like, I always use the example of like, legitimately criticizing someone for keeping an Avernic on while running head. Dumb shit like that. Okay. That as someone who does teach raids and teach people how to do content, that's the dumb. Like, come on, we're not losing the accuracy here. Like, it's not like the Elidness Ward wouldn't exist for another like 2 or 3 years. So it's not like there was something better I could have equipped, right? Yeah. So learning the process was not great because it was either criticism or we were having to work around people's extraneous account circumstances. So like I have 81 attack and 80 strength. And you want me to use this new Dragon Hunter Lance to do melee hand because your account cannot melee. Okay, that's fine. I'll just get Rambo'd. Or like I'll like I've only got 80 and like my buddy Scape has 90, so like he'll do melee hand and I'll sit mage hand with no instructions on how to run head. Just sit mage hand and get absolutely Rambo'd, especially at the end. Between that and the puzzle mechanics, either
the puzzles
just frustrating me or having not been explained in ways that I enjoyed. I know how to do the rooms and chambers, but sometimes the explanations were just frustrating. I told the story, I think, on the last episode of the show that like the other day I was doing hard mode, like I think a week or two ago, and one of my buddies ran to my side without even thinking about it and scythed Zarpus right before I attack. So I just got killed immediately in hard mode in like the first rotation. I was like, troll, what the fuck? And was laughing as I had died, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But when it comes to something like Chambers, that kind of death is so frustrating.
Yeah.
If I'm trying to set up mystics and I get killed on melees, if I die at Muta while cutting that tree, if I, die at Tecton, because like I shouldn't die at Tecton anymore,
Right.
Vasa, like, oh, sorry, guess you weren't at 117 health, so you got hit for a 116 and died. Like, that is just so goddamn annoying for me at Chambers. That like I once stuff like that starts to happen, I don't even want to go back, because in my experience, as soon as you die, purple's gone. So now you've spent 20 or 30 minutes. Now you've spent 20 or 30 minutes doing all this work for Saltpeter and Lizardman fangs. And I know everyone always says, man, that's not how RNG works. I've seen people get 13 Death Shadows. I've seen people with 1,200 points get T-bows. It happens. It's not happened to me. And it's mega frustrating to do all that work. And not even the chance of getting paid isn't even there. So Chambers is mega frustrating. Someone in the recording booth chat, Double X Plock, says, what changes to Cox would it take for you to enjoy it? I don't actually think there are changes to Chambers of Xeric. I don't think the raid itself needs to change. I think I'm the one who needs to change if I want to. Because
it's not you, it's me.
Exactly. It's not you, it's me, because they have made a lot of quality of life changes to Chambers over the years.
Yeah.
That really aren't that bad. They make the raid a lot better. Like back in the day, when I first started learning Chambers, the people I was going with were like, all right, you're going to take air runes, water runes, and mind runes with you, so you can get yourself out of fire if you brew down too much. Then we started taking lunars for, humidify and things like that. And now we can take ancients because it works on the flame wall. Yeah. And it works well with Muta, and it's like those quality of life. We always joke around like, oh, we got an extra Noxifer. We're gonna get that motherfucking anti-poison. You got to pre-pot it before we go in. We don't need to, but we want to, just for fun.
Yeah, sure.
So there's been a lot of decent QOLs in Chambers over the years, but I really couldn't tell you what quote unquote Chambers would need in order for me to like it. Because whereas something like TOA has a frustrating scaling system, because the invocations at TOA don't always add new mechanics, they just make the bosses hit harder. Like, how does a mechanic like on a diet translate to a boss being able to hit harder? I don't love that, right? Now, a mechanic like Double Trouble or Stay Vigilant, those should make the bosses hit harder. I don't like that TOA is at the higher level, boss hit harder, more HP, harder for you to stay alive. I think they got it right with Tob, where the hard mode mechanics add a lot of things. I mean, obviously, yes, there's like a DPS increase and a health increase for bosses in harder modes is fair. I don't think that's a bad thing. But I think the addition of new mechanics, which TOA does with invocations, but not every invocation. So, I would adjust that about TOA. Whereas with Chambers, off the top of my head, I really can't think of anything that, there's a lot of shit that I hate in Chambers. I hate crabs. I hate Ice Demon. I hate that final phase of Olm when everything's falling. I hate specifically getting Rambo'd by Olm, where you get the red crystals falling on top of your face, and you get the bombs falling in your direction. You get the crystals falling from the ceiling, and someone won't run to the other side, so you're just getting battered by auto attacks. I hate that in Chambers. But that is not necessarily a mechanic that is a flaw with the game. That is individual gameplay issues. So,
sure. Yeah. My opinion of Chambers is strictly based off of my ability to do a solo Chambers. And the way I hated Chambers too at the beginning of trying to learn it, because as like I had mentioned earlier about the whole ADHD thing, like it is really difficult for me to learn the way people normally learn. And if you've ever been in my stream, like there's times like when I was trying to learn and understand what a tick was, like to me it was easier to like break it down. We brought out MS Paint and I made little colorful boxes, and each box was a tick, and I did all this stuff, right? And some people are like, dude, what the hell are you doing? And I was like, I don't really know, but this is helping me.
You're making it work.
Yeah. And so with Chambers, people were like, yeah, once the head turns and it does a thing, you got to do this thing. And I despised that, because my brain, I couldn't wrap it around the fact, like, it was hard for me to like anticipate, like, was he going to fucking move now? No, he's not going to move. Is that when his head moved right there? Because he did a little thing there, but do you mean that one, or were you talking about another thing? I didn't know. And so by pure happenstance, I have a plugin on that I use all the freaking time, and it's called Visual Metronome. And me as a musician, I love the audible metronome, but Twitch chat, it literally is like nails on a chalkboard to them. So they hate it. And so I can't use it. So I had to find something else that was better suited. And I looked into using like finding the Apple Watch, and then having a RuneLite plugin that would attach through Bluetooth to my Apple Watch that would buzz and vibrate on my hand.
Damn.
But that was going to be too expensive. So, because I had to like develop it myself or have somebody else do it. And so I was like, forget that. So I found this Visual Metronome plugin, and it's visual, so there's no sound. And it's just like the true tile on my character just changes a color every tick. And when I was learning solo Chambers, I started to realize that Ohm has, as soon as you walk in his room, I know now, because of my visual metronome, exactly when he's going to attack, where he's going to attack, and like I can manipulate it specifically based on that knowledge. You don't have to, like, it is so far. We call it the Fisher Price method because it's literally a baby could do it. That's how easy we have made Chambers. And even a good friend of mine now, but even Qneeks, he came in and watched me do it one time, and he's like, what are you doing? Because I would use the terminology like, oh, Ohm will be on the white cycle, or he'll be on the red cycle. So normal people, they have no idea what I'm talking about. But for me, it worked out. And there's so many people that have learned now through this method. And it makes, you know what I do now to make Chambers fun? I 1 HP Darok Ohm specifically. Because you never, ever, ever take a single point of damage.
Damn.
And so like,
I might need a link to that then, because I got to get these master combat tasks for like not dying and like doing perfect Ohm in a solo. Like,
oh, bro, it's so easy. It's so easy.
That's amazing.
And it does it the entire fight. So like, even in the final phase that you said you hated, like you don't ever have to worry about.
I hate the final phase so much. I don't know why the final phase of Ohm makes me want to scream.
Yeah, there's a couple times, like if you're running in the specific pattern that you do, like there's a couple times where it's unfortunate that you just line up and run into a thing. But at that point, you're not 1 HP in anymore. You just eat up to full. You take you take a hit and you just call it a day. Yeah. But yeah, and there is no link to it. I don't have a guide on it. I just did it on stream one time, and so like I can't really send you a link. I just have to teach you. But maybe I should make a guide. I don't know. Yeah,
I mean, I think that kind of statement, oh, it's super easy. It applies over time. Just to call back to what we were talking about earlier, it does get super easy. Like, I think alternating prayers is easy as shit now.
Sure.
But I learned it in the Inferno, and it wasn't an easy time to learn it. But now I have no problem with it. Michael, you saw me doing it. We went to God Wars the other night.
Yeah.
Like, if I don't have to take damage and I can alternate, I won't. I'll do what I have to do to off-take enemies to make sure I don't take damage. I'm not going to sweat my balls off and do it throughout the entire raid. Yep. But like, if I don't have to take hits, I won't. It's easy for me now. It wasn't easy to start. Just as I imagined, there's a lot of things I can do now that were really easy. What's the example we give every single week, mostly with Achievement of the Week, is Zalra. I can do Zalra with my eyes closed. I uninstalled the Zalra helper plugin. That's how, like, it doesn't matter to me anymore because it's not that hard. But Jesus H. Christ, the first time I was going for that Zalra kill, it was the most difficult and painful thing I had ever done in this game. And I stand by that because it wasn't easy to start. Right? So Chambers will get easy. And I know I will be able to do solos. I've done a lot of other things other than consistently do Fazani's Nightmare. I'd like to think I'm decent enough to be able to. I have the skill set to do solo Chambers.
Yeah,
just haven't. You know,
just comes down to
like
motivation.
We said earlier. Exactly, the motivation. I wish it was easier.
Yeah, dude, I can do that for you, man. I can do it.
Yeah,
we'll do a private, little private cock session.
Oh
my goodness!
I have a question.
I love that terminology too.
Yes.
With the metronome specifically,
yep.
The audio one, they have programs where you can separate like what goes to your headphones and what goes to the stream.
Voice meter.
Did you ever look into that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I imagine you want like game sounds and things like that. So then that's where
I'm
get just a sacrifice.
I don't know. I'm weird. But you can a voice meter really does everything. You can split things up, but I didn't take. It's either I didn't take the time to learn it the way I wanted to learn it, but I always felt like there was something wrong. Something was always like messing up. It was like my OBS was constantly switching audio inputs when I had voice meter active. And then I had to like change it frequently back to the audio input or the channel it was trying to listen to. And it just started to really get on my nerves. And so, because one thing I really loved using Voice Meter Potato for is I play, this sounds so depressing, in complete silence. I don't like audibly, I didn't really like listen to music. It's just too jumbled. I felt like at the time I had to listen to this like music that like is more accessible. Yeah, just the stuff that doesn't
high
have
intensity
like
RuneScape EDM. Yeah.
Yeah, I like things that they don't cater to the like that instant gratification of your brain. I like the stuff that has more context, more validity, more substance, and that really goes for everything in life. And that's honestly one of the reasons I love RuneScape, because if you know anything about RuneScape, you know this game does not at all care about your instant gratification. But when you get it, you appreciate it. You know what I mean? Like when you get, just recently on my speedrun account, I have a way that we do chambers on the account, but we only spend like 5 minutes in game time on the account. 1 KC Ancestral Hat, 6,000 points, Hardcore Ironman, level 19 or something. No, level 50, but 19 HP. And I was like, this is awesome, right? This should not happen. And I was just like so elated. Like that's going to help the grind so much. Like it's literally a 2.5% boost, like instantaneously. I mean, once we get the levels, but like
1 KC.
1 KC, I spent no time, 5-minute upgrade, right? That's massive. But then like when I looked in and we'd started doing the math, like the time I was spending and whatnot, like that really was lucky. And we're not going back to chambers because it can be a massive time waster. So, right. So anyway, yeah, I digress or whatever, but I feel you on the chambers thing. Totally could make it easy for you. It just takes a little bit of intentional learning and then you're good to go.
Yeah, I mean, but what doesn't in old school?
Touché.
What doesn't take
Touché.
intentional learning, you know?
Yep.
I want to call back to something I said that literally sparked an amazing conversation. I had 2 reasons why I don't 3D print. The first one is because of quote unquote ADHD. The second one is because for some reason, my printer, when it's going, makes lights in my house flicker. It's odd. And it's just drawing too much power. But there's nothing I can do about it because we're renting this house and I can't like hire an electrician to like rewire my house. So potentially moving in the next couple weeks. And I'm hoping that this new house doesn't have flickery lights, and I can actually run my printer. Because when I'm printing in my office and I'm sitting in the living room, the lights in the living room are like subtly flickering, and it drives me bonkers.
Okay, so there's fixes for that. So what's happening is your printer is probably pulling too much. I don't know too much about this, but I literally just went through an entire house rebuild, so I've learned like some things. But it's like the line or the circuit that it's on is rated for a certain amount of like voltage or amperage or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Your printer, you said 3D printer, correct?
Correct.
Is probably pulling too much it's too much. There's too much going on. Yeah. And you're sucking too much water out of a hose, and there's only so much water to go around. So it's trying to like, go into these other circuits that you're using that are like maybe ambient things that are just like run in the background, like a fridge or other things. And so when you have this like printer that's like jostling a movement head and like other things that take like power, maybe a little bit more than just running like a standard thing, it's going to be essentially pulling that like water or circuit or electricity from other things. And it seems to be on your lights. And depending on what kind of lights you have, some lights like don't like to like, they're not like dimmable. So they just sit with they just flicker and they're annoying. So I would say figure out what is on what circuit through your breaker in your basement, and you probably could just plug something into a different part of your wall or a different thing, and it will probably fix it itself.
Right. Yeah, I think the house we're living in is like split up on two circuits, because rooms on that side of the house, I'm pointing that way, they don't flicker, but rooms on that side of the house do.
Yes.
It's weird. Like there's a switch behind right by the power cord on the printer, and it's like you can switch the wattage depending on what country you live in. I've already done that. It didn't do anything. So I'm just going to give it a couple weeks, because it's already been several months since I've printed anything, and see if the new house has that problem. Because I printed these runes and I want to paint them.
Yeah.
Printed little RuneScape characters.
Didn't we already do the runes though? Is that the second set of runes, or is that the first set of runes?
I'll show you how many I
have. I saw how many you have, but like, I thought we did that one time where like we put them in a shadow box already.
This is for me.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. I was like,
this is for me.
I figured it was personal. I was going to say, Michael, I'm pretty sure we did something like that.
We did.
Like a year ago. And
it
was still not done. We got some splaining.
Oh, no. No, that got done. That got done in like a week and a half. And it's what sparked me wanting to print my own and like put it up behind me and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have enough room right now, but in the new house, I'll have some room. Yeah, you guys, Xpwasters who watch the episodes, this will all be gone in a matter of, I don't know, 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
This will be Michael's third background change, I think.
Yeah.
In his time in the Xpwaste podcast.
Fourth. So technically my first apartment, and then in this room, I was right here. So that was 2. And then this is 3. And then the new house will be 4.
Yeah.
And there's no telling how long I'll be in that office, because like things could change and we would need a second bedroom, or my wife would need an office. I don't know. So I'm excited to revamp, to have a new, a clean slate, because we get to paint walls and all fun stuff.
That is fun.
It's gonna be a lot of money though.
I lived in the same complex I do, but in a different apartment that was a little bit older when we started the show. And then I think like, I think it was like July of 21, because that's when we did the E3 episode where I was at my kitchen table.
Yep.
Where I moved into this one that is, the layout is exactly the same. There are just some like differences. Like this wall is a little bit, like the closet doors are a little bit smaller. And like I have a hole in my kitchen wall so you can like see through, you know? It's an intentional hole, not like we punched through it and you're like peering through like, hi, how are you? Nothing like that. So my background has looked almost the same throughout the entirety of my time on Xpwaste. I've had to modernize it and make it look a little bit more professional because like sometimes in the past I had to do counseling from home, and like I only have the energy stored up right now, but like nothing says, you know, therapeutic than talking to a mid-20s dude with like a Minecraft pickaxe mounted on the wall. So like I've had to change it and make it a little bit more, you know, professional and acceptable. It's still just covered in nerdy shit. Like everything on that shelf has a story, and most of it is, you know, dorky as all hell, which I love. And that's why everything is up there, is because I don't think there's really anything up there that's behind me right now that you could pick up and there's not a story to it.
That's sweet. I love that.
Yeah. Even the stuff like you guys can't see, like above me, there's some pictures and things.
Yeah.
That is an AI photo of me as a warrior that my dad got me for Christmas. I don't know why he did, but I thought it was funny as hell, and I hung it up as soon as I got back from Christmas. So
if we're gonna, go ahead, keep talking.
I was gonna say I've not had a whole lot of background changes in my day because the layout of my apartment has been exactly the same, and whenever I do have a background change, we're going through some very large and in charge changes because hopefully I have my own house, but that seems that's sure. Like a spin the chamber and figure out when that's going to happen, because it's, you know, we have no idea when Oxie's going to have his own home.
Sure,
but we'll see.
Understandable. If we're going to talk nerd world, can I jump into something?
100%.
Okay,
this is your podcast, baby. This is your podcast.
That's I'm honored. Thank you very much.
He's like, that's a lot of pressure.
I have so a friend of mine is Madam Mage. I love her to death. She's fantastic. Mm-hmm. She does the Sanders Lady cosplay.
Yeah,
and then actually
I voted for her.
All the ladies, that she was a nominee. All the ladies that were in the Golden Gnome nominations, I know them all on some level, and they're fantastic humans. And but I was looking at like the pieces they did, and everybody except Nunu Nels, like they stray away from like the pieces that are like weapons and like actual armor pieces, shields and stuff like that, because it's probably quite difficult to do something like that. Like I said, Nunu Nels did her version of it. But I am a huge fan of cosplay. I love cosplay. I don't cosplay because I'm big and I don't feel like that's like, it's not a good look for me, but I love it when you get these dudes or these girls and they just like completely mimic the creation, or they like put their own spin on it. I just think it's the freaking coolest thing. And so, I used to play World of Warcraft. I was really big into, playing the Horde, but there's this thing they put on every year called BlizzCon, and the level of quality in the cosplay outfit section, like, is what got me into cosplay, right? It's what made me like love it.
It's insane.
Yeah, it is. And as a content creator and a huge like RuneScape fanboy, I've always like dreamt of being in the running for a golden gnome. And as I've been like streaming, there's the option of like the best new streamer and stuff. And I obviously know that just like, we don't have the size to do that. And I'm no longer a new streamer, yada, yada. And so I made the decision that this year, and I try to stay humble for the most of everything I do, but I'm literally taking on a new persona for this specific goal in mind. And this year, I will be the cosplay artist of the year Golden Gnome winner. Like the cosplay creation, right? Now, I'm not going to cosplay it myself. I make the stuff. We have other people model it. Well, I've had some creations.
I was gonna say, look out, mage! RadishBoy's coming for the sandwich lady. The sandwich lady cosplay.
I've spent a lot of time honing some of my 3D skills, and I've made some creations so far, and they're like I've been getting a really good response. So, which has opened my world to like taking on missions and doing that whole thing. And it would like I'm a father of 4 and a husband, and so like it's been helping make ends meet, easier. But I would love to showcase. I don't know. Is there a way I can show you guys like some of the stuff that I've made?
Yeah. I mean, you can either post in the recording booth chat, and you can put it on screen for the folks on YouTube, or you can just hold it up on camera. Whatever you want to do.
Definitely can't hold it up on camera.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, it's because it's in the garage.
Pictures.
Well,
pictures will be fine. Yeah. We'll put them on screen.
Sure. And it's in the garage because I've made different stuff, but something that I just really have a passion to do, man, is I want it to be as realistic as possible. I also want it to be to scale. And I talked to Mod Ash, and he was like, I said, hey, so how big is a tile in RuneScape, and how tall is a character, like on average? And he told me, he said, a tile in RuneScape is essentially 1 meter, and each RuneScape character is 2 meters or 2 tiles tall. And so that essentially, I mean, that's saying like each character is like 6 foot 6.
Like that.
It's like crazy, right?
Yeah.
6'6".
Yeah. Now, the cool thing about that is for me, I'm 6'5".
Oh, hell yeah.
IRL, right? So I just like, I literally can just like, if I were to take something and just like, I could make it to scale and it would like look like a RuneScape character's holding it, other than the fact that this RuneScape character is morbidly obese. But that being said, I've made some to scale items to the standard height, and then I've made some other to scale items for the height of the person, right? So if I'm making something or an outfit or a piece for somebody, and they want it to their body size, I can do that. And I've been doing that. So, for some reason, the only piece I can find right now is 3 pieces in one, but they're from when they are being painted. They're not done being painted yet, but.
Oh my gosh.
The one below that.
Oh.
So that you see the Dragon Hunter Lance. That one I became a little bit obsessed over with the quality of it. So in just materials alone, it's cost me $450. There is a 1 inch by 1 inch by 6 foot solid steel beam that runs through the middle.
Oh my gosh.
And it is my brother just came over for the first day in like a year. I haven't seen him in a long time, and I showed him it, and he picked it up and he's like, holy shit. I was like, yeah, bro. It's like, he's like, this is a weapon. I was like, dude, it is a weapon. And that Dragon Hunter Lance is 2.8 meters long.
That's amazing.
It is ridiculous. And
That's
I've
amazing.
just like,
that's like a 10-foot weapon.
yeah, bro. It's amazing.
And people are just one-handing that because like you figure lances themselves are supposed to be used on like horseback and shit like that.
Yeah.
So that's wild that like, I mean, when you think about it, someone who is 6'6", you think you have that kind of mobility to like smack it. But like I'm killing Kraken right now. I'm approaching 99 Slayer. I'm like 48k away. Killing Kraken. It's not gonna be my final task. Thank God, because I wouldn't want to end on Kraken. Shout out TMD. If I'm 6'6", the Sang Staff is 9 feet tall. Like there's no doubt in my mind that's ridiculously tall.
Yeah.
See, like that is fantastic, and it just goddamn the amount of detail that is put into that, and that looks imposing too. To kind of go off topic a little bit, or like a little bit on topic. You say that like I don't want to do cosplay because I'm large and I'm overweight and things like that. I am also I'm an overweight guy. The running joke in the show is that I'm like 5'2". I'm not, but the running joke is that I'm really short. As someone who's been a bigger guy my entire life, it takes a while to learn to appreciate how you look, and it's very difficult today, even for me, who does athletic shit. Like I'm practicing a move right now in saber fencing called the skip lunge, where you jump off your back foot and then you jump forward. Like you jump, land, and jump again. And that's a difficult thing to do.
Okay.
This photo of you with the lance across your back looks fucking terrifying. That is like an imposing warrior photo. Like that right there, that is the image of someone who I would want to model a dragon hunter lance with full Torva. Like if we can get someone to put Torva on you right there,
I could do it,
and
man.
get like a dragon fire shield as an offhand.
I made one for my son.
Like, that is
That's
like
amazing.
that is
Well, I made him the dragon
insane.
square shield, excuse me. Not the,
Okay.
not the fire shield. I've got
like-
yeah.
like that right there is because you could even do like I can't do photo editing myself, but you could do editing to make it look like, you know, you've got like a frozen background, Vorkath is dead behind you. That is a cosplay model right there.
Dude.
That shit is hella intimidating.
Thank you.
I think you got to give yourself a little bit more credit.
Well, just to I don't want to sound like I'm like self-deprecating, I guess is what the term
Yeah.
is called.
Yeah.
For me, it's not about like I don't like the way I look,
Mhm.
but I just know how the internet is. And granted, I know that if I create something, I really care about the quality of what I do. And
Mhm.
and I know that there's people out there that can just make it look better. My brother is who I want to model like the male pieces I wear or I make
Mhm.
because he's like ripped top to bottom. Dude's stacked, right? He's built like a
Mhm.
brick shit house. And like that just looks better, you know, especially if the piece like Bandos armor, like that armor, like, so here's one of the shoulder plates, right? So
Mhm.
it is like, it fits me good. And I've also been like working with some like high poly resolution, like HD graphics of like stuff in RuneScape. And so like this is like a high poly version of the Slayer helm, which actually doesn't look, it looks cool, I think, but it really doesn't have that RuneScape feel. So I've kind of, I like removed, like, I don't really like it. People don't really like it. But it definitely like looks cool on its own. But when it comes to like the feeling of like, the functionality or like somebody's like, that's RuneScape. Like you lose it when you add a lot more polygons.
Sure.
In my opinion. So, but
Grardor
I would want
be a bit thick though. You could pull off a Grardor.
Yeah, but then I gotta look like a troll, you know.
No,
we've gone through.
I don't.
We've gone through and looked at some characters that definitely are on the like dad bod side, and we've got a couple that are like
my boy
okay.
Guthon.
My Guthon.
Dude, that's one of them, dude. He's got that dad gut, and I'm like, okay. I'm all about healing too.
If I ever cosplayed a RuneScape character, it would be Guthon because I wouldn't have to do any sort of work.
Sir.
Don't get me wrong. I think it would be funny as hell to put me in Varrock's armor and just make everybody see it the whole time.
Can we get some?
I feel like Guthon's more appropriate.
Can we get some authentic male representation in like the next Gnomes cosplay section?
Like
it's on us, gentlemen. We have to take down the other cosplayers.
Well, just so you guys know, at least for right now, during the day of the recording, 3/26, my commissions are open. I'm getting ready to finish 3 pieces. So if there's anybody looking for something, but just so you know, it's not cheap. It takes a lot of time, and I care about the quality. So people pay for quality.
You're gonna have to buy a second bamboo.
That's exactly why I'm like, all right, I'm gonna have to. I'll just do this myself because I guarantee I won't be able to afford a commission.
Listen, you give me $50 in 2 hours at Hobby Lobby, and I'll be able to pull something off. Okay.
All right,
there we go, dude. I love it.
I need a Torva plate body. I need Torva legs. I need a dragon. I need a dragon fire shield.
Yeah.
I need a dragon fire shield, and I mean, I'm trying to think of like
you do a lot with cardboard.
I mean, yeah, but like that's so like you ever seen craft foam?
Yeah.
So working with craft foam, you can get the idea of what you're going for. You ever seen a material like Sintra?
No.
Or like 3D printed? You ever seen the people who are in the 5 of the First? Or they do like the worldwide Mandalorian thing.
Yeah.
Or they make Spartan armor cosplays. When they use this, like, when the material gets hot, it becomes like this moldable plastic that can fit your body really well. And it looks like sleek armor you would find in like Star Wars or Halo.
Yeah.
Wait, what are you calling that? What is that called?
Sintra, I believe it was called. Cintra.
Huh.
The amount of work that goes into that is just beautiful to watch these people do it. And, you know, if I could get into a hobby where I had unlimited time and unlimited money, I've always wanted to make myself a full Spartan armor set. I've always wanted to do it.
Spartan, like Spartan Warrior?
The Spartan, like Halo Spartan.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I would want to do, you know, my Spartan from Halo Reach and things like that.
Sure, yeah, that'd be
but
sweet.
when you have that kind of knowledge to use those materials to make that kind of armor, you really can expand it. You know, you can do a lot with cardboard. It's gonna look very different if you use cardboard and craft foam versus Sintra 3D printed materials, actual steel to hold weapons together so they maintain their form. Like I don't mean to brag, Radish, but I'm gonna put your lance. I'm gonna give it a run for its money here. It's in my closet. Hold on.
I know what he's about to grab too, and it's a giggle.
Just to showcase the difference.
Yo, is that an abyssal whip, my guy?
This is a frozen abyssal whip I made several years ago.
Incredible.
And for those of you at home thinking, holy shit, Oxie, you didn't have to make Radish feel bad about his Dragon Hunter lance. This is made out of a piece of foam that I grabbed in my hand like this and squeezed until it met the form I needed it to. These are 100% toilet paper rolls.
Yeah, authentic.
And they're all hot glued together with string to give it that like whippy appeal. This is a paper towel roll that I cut up to give it that like authentic spike at the end of the whip. Yeah.
The spine of an abyssal demon.
Yeah, I made that on stream one day. Someone in the recording booth chat said, "Hey, a whip, get out of here."
Hey, a whip.
That kind of weapon that took a lot of time, and frankly, to this day, 3 years later, I'm still kind of proud of because I think it's like a fun little stream memory. Yeah. The difference between that and the shit that we just put on stream, like you could do a lot. You could do a lot with cardboard, but you can't do that.
Well, you could. It would just take a lot longer.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know, if you're individually cutting each piece, make sure they all align. But then the thing I'd avoid with cardboard is like it's going to wear out with use. As where what I have, it's only going to wear out if you break it.
It's more of a showpiece, right?
Yeah,
like you put it on your wall and you don't touch it if it's cardboard.
Yeah,
like Oxie has a little 3D printed like a DDS, and that's gonna break if you try and like.
Sure. It has broken before. I've had to actually hot glue it back together because I made a TikTok with it and I broke it in half by accident when I made the TikTok like a year or two ago. So I'm like, well, we're not gonna do that. So it sits on my shelf there. It was a birthday gift from a friend. Yeah, so I think that's cool as hell. That is, I knew you were a streamer. I knew you were a content creator. I didn't know you were getting into the realm of cosplay because, God, cosplay is just so cool.
It's
not
cool,
something
man.
I know how to do or something that at the moment I have the ability to learn and be good at. But holy shit, it's so cool,
dude. I think that there's definitely what I would love. So this is like what I'm really passionate about. When I say like I'm gonna be the winner. What I really want that to do, I want it to motivate somebody to say, not if I can help it. And then
you want to raise the ceiling.
Yes, absolutely. I want to do that with the way streamers treat their communities. I want to do that with the way people treat other people. Like I want to do it with every aspect of my life. I want to do it with the way we talk to our friends. You know, when I'm saying like, dude, you got so much potential, you know, I'm saying that because I want that bar to be raised of what people expect from other people or friends expect from friends or viewers expect from streamers. I think that if I want to if we go back to my speedrunning thing that I was talking about, there's things that we talk about that we've had guys come in when we were first starting it and they're like, bro, this is a shitty guide. Like, this is so wrong. One guy in particular was like really adamant, but he kept coming back and he's like, no, that's not most efficient thing. And I was like, dude, I'm going to be respectfully accept everything you're saying, But just know, like, because he was actively writing like a speedrun guide too for maxing a hardcore or maxing an iron in general or something or whatever it was. And I said, well, dude, that's great. Like, the best thing about this, like, he was going to bat every day. And I was like, the best thing about this is, like, when I get maxed and my, game time is either higher or lower than yours, then we know whose is better. Right. So, like, and then he says, no, I'm not actually playing the account. I'm just writing the guide. And then I said, well, why is that? And he said, I ain't got time. And I said, dude, you just lost the argument, because if you ain't got time to play a speedrun account, like, how fast can it be?
My brother in Christ, that's the whole point. Is to go fast.
That's the whole. You should have all the time, even if it's an hour a day. It should only take, But my thing is I want to be able to create a guide. It's not going to be perfect, but if I do, and somebody plays the guide and goes, oh, I have a better idea. Heck yeah, brother! It can be better, because I'm not perfect. My community is not perfect. We're just doing our best. And so
it's that logic of, like, the Wright brothers made the shittiest airplane in the world.
Absolutely.
By today's standards, they made the worst airplane ever.
Yeah.
But they're also the first ones to do it. So there will be improvements. You know?
I think that's great.
I think if more people thought like that, there'd be way less conflict in the world. Sure. Because everybody wants to have the biggest house, the coolest sunglasses. Like, everybody wants to be the best, and they don't want other people to be better than them. But if more people thought, hey, I'm doing this, and this should be just a stepping point for somebody else to do something better than me.
Yeah.
We would, like, as a society, I think we would thrive.
Agreed. I say that about streaming. I say there's two things that's going to happen with my stream, guaranteed. I believe in manifesting reality, and this is what's going to happen. So it's either RadishBoy is going to outgrow, Osrs and grow to the point where I have a stage where I can just make an impact on the world. Either that's going to happen, or I'm going to remain a small-time streamer, but somebody that I talk to, somebody that's in my stream, is going to be motivated and realize, you know what, I can do this. This is something I can do. And I'm going to put my foot forward. And then someday, 10 years down the road, the newest, biggest streamer is going to say, there was a guy I used to watch back in the day, and the way he spoke to me through that computer screen made me feel like I was a real person, and it motivated me to want to give this a shot. And here I am today. I know, because my life, I want to dedicate my life to helping other people. So, it's either I'm going to be the one doing it at the front, or I'm going to be the one in the back that's forgot about, but I motivated the captain, and I'm okay with being both guys.
I was to say, eventually you do turn into both. Given my choice of career profession, I understand the sentiment of I want to help people for a living very, very well. Yep. And sometimes what you're doing or saying doesn't always hit. Like we said, I work with adolescents, so, like, they're actively listening to, like, 2% of what I'm saying, but everything I'm saying is sticking in there somewhere. So it's just a matter of time of, like, when is the other shoe going to drop, and they're going to realize, like, holy shit, Oxie said that to me back then, and now it makes sense. Because, like, I always, like, give them the benefit of the doubt. Like, when I was 16 years old, if you told me to do something that was significantly harder than what I'm doing now, I wouldn't have wanted to do that. I think it's the same thing in the Tanzu Vertoso episode. So I give them credit for not wanting to do it. They'll get there eventually.
That's teenage angst sometimes. It's like,
exactly. And it does truly come, it truly does come a time, because, like, in addition to doing counseling, I also love coaching and just, like, teaching in general. Like, I'm not like an Inferno coach or anything like that, but I think to bring it to RuneScape, there have been a lot of people who have met us through the podcast, and we cater very well to, like, the mid-game community, we always say. Michael has a max cape, I have an infernal cape. We are not mid-gamers, but we cater to people who are, like, first fire cape, banging out their hard diaries, things like that. And, as someone who we've made a lot of lists, we've given a lot of PVM advice, we've given a lot of skilling advice, like account progression is our big thing. We have a bingo coming up, and part of what we go for when we make these bingos is account progression in them. Like it's not just obtain 5 drops from the Theater of Blood, get a sub 60 Inferno. It is, we've had bingos with experience tiles. We've had bingos with, God, what are some other things? We do like mini games. Like the past couple bingos, we've done a Barbarian Assault speed run, which forces members of the team to go do BA together. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
we always try and make it very inclusive to where it's not just PVM heavy.
Yeah.
And if it is PVM heavy, it's like PVM that if you joined and you're like 1,000 total level, more than likely you can give Barrows a shot.
Yeah.
You can give Sarachnis a shot. It's not just, grind raids the whole week.
Sure.
But more broadly than just bingo, in the time that we've been doing this show, we have seen people who we have met at the time of like when they join who aren't great at PVM when they first sign up, and they don't have a lot of account progression things done.
Yeah.
And they're like catching, but they're catching up to Michael and I.
Sure.
Like we have people who joined who were the lower levels, and now we're like, yeah, what can I say, man? I'm only 2,269 total. I'm just trying to bang. Like, Jesus Christ, you're
freaking crushing it, brother. Yeah.
Other people, we have a friend who we do raids with, and every time he'll say, because I'll be like, dude, how are you getting so much less damage than the rest of us? And he'll be like, I have 89 attack. And I'm like, bullshit. No, you don't. He's like, because every time I do content with him, taking him to Theater of Blood, you just assume people have higher stats. And he's like, nah, dude, I just got 89 attack at P2. Like, I don't know. So seeing people make that progression from like, hi, how do you spell Barrows, to like, I want to learn Tob by the summertime. I want to take the time in bingo to like,
dude, I
send
love
350s and get my backpack. So like, I have seen it happen in this community. And I don't know, Michael, I'm sure you felt something similar, but like, I have felt it quite a bit. Like when I see people who are coming specifically from the show and have been here for a while, when they get their Infernal Cape, when they get their like Diary Cape, when we see like serious progression, that makes me feel good, because that tells me we were at least a little bit a part of that.
Right.
Yeah.
Not trying to take credit for their achievement, of course.
Sure.
It's theirs. No one's going to take that from them.
Yep.
But it's just cool to watch, like, man, look at where you started and look at where you are now. And at some point, I was involved in that journey. And that's cool as hell for me to watch. And there are going to be people who will eventually, ascend and become better than Michael and I in whatever we're doing, because we are absolutely not the end of the line when it comes to quality of gameplay and old school RuneScape.
I've always said that, like, I feel like I've said it on the show, but if we brought one person back to the game and sparked their joy in their life, or we talked about mid game stuff, and that helped one person's account, and it gave them the knowledge to progress. If it was just for one person, it would still be worth it. Mm-hmm. All of the
it's fun
hours and hours that we've put into this podcast, it still would be worth it. And I say that very genuinely. I'm not just saying that. It's at the end of the day, I feel like we've made impact in people's lives, in their, I don't know, like my wife and I did a whole episode talking about the dynamics of like communication, and
that was a damn good episode too. I was in Europe for that one. I listened to that on the plane to Geneva. That was a damn good episode.
Thank you.
Did.
And we had a lot of people message us after the fact. We're like, hey, that actually sparked a conversation between my partner and I, and this is the thing that came out of it. I'm like, it's worth it. It's all worth it. So definitely, I definitely track with you on that thinking of, if it's not me, it'll be somebody from my community, somebody because of me, somebody I can mentor. That goes on and does great things.
Yeah, and I'm okay with playing both roles, whatever I gotta do.
Love it.
Plus, it's always really fun to see people who like have grown to like us well enough. They're like, all right, Infernal Max Cape, 8 build bank, time to tune in and listen to what mid-game items I don't need to buy. Like, I love having like that kind of experience too.
Sure.
Like, you're invested in us at that point, and that feels good. That you just like you're not getting anything from what we're talking about, but you're still listening to it. Like that's pretty great, you know?
Yeah, that's great, dude.
So how you feeling? Do you feel it's about time that we had to break? And
I'd like to fill up my Camelback. I'm out of water.
Yeah. How big is the Camelback you got back there too?
It's a liter.
Just 'cause, yeah.
A liter. So it's not the biggest, but like, you know, I need to be oiled up. So
and with that, folks, we're gonna give you some time to go oil yourselves up. We're gonna head to break. So come back extra oiled, I suppose.
Perfect.
Enjoy this probably recycled commercial. Michael, it's your episode.
Yeah, we'll see you guys after this.
Hey, I'm the guy that sits I'm the guy that sits real far away. Not a lot of people come around here, but my name is, don't worry about my name. We don't do names here. You come here, you give me what I want, I give you what you want, alright? And we don't ask questions. I have a lot of bones. You don't ask me where I got the bones from. I don't ask you what you need with the bones. And that's how this works, alright? We don't ask questions, alright? You come in, you give me money, I give you bones. Human bones, animal bones, dog bones, any sort of bone. But on the one proviso, you don't ask me where I got the bones, and I don't ask you what you need with the bones. Alright? You look me in the eye. Because if you don't accept that, we're gonna have a problem. You wanna know my name? You can call me Dan. I'm Dan the Bone Man. That's all you need to know. Alright? And then when we're done, you never met me. I never met you, alright? This never happened. I don't know who you are, alright? Good. Now get the f*** out of here.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that commercial break, because I know that I sure did. You may be thinking, where's Radish? I am too. No, I'm just kidding. He had to go, so he'll be back.
We don't know what the hell happened to him. We got back, and he's like, yeah, I just never came back.
He'll be back for the fun question. He had a hard stop, which is totally fine. This section is more for like Oxie night anyway, and usually our guests are just sitting there like, yeah, why did I sign up to be on this podcast?
Except to Nanny.
Except to Nanny. So right now, in this moment in time, I am stalling with my words so I can go to patreon.com. It is now time.
My brother in Christ forgot that he edits the podcast and can just take a pause and cut it out.
If you want to go to Patreon, no, I'm just kidding. It's now the time of the show where we will shout out our patrons who support us on patreon.com/Xpwaste. If you're in the KBD tier, you get an actual shout out in the podcast. But first, definitely want to start with any new Wise Old Man tier folks who've joined us recently. Since the last episode, we have Andrew, just the and signed with the word Roo, R-O-O. They're in the recording booth now. Shout out to Andrew. Thank you so much for supporting us in the Wise Old Man tier. And we also have Brandon B. Thank you so much, Brandon B. Those are our newest Wise Old Man tier folks. And now on the screen, we have our existing Wise Old Man. If you're in the Wise Old Man tier, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. You guys are the bread and butter of what we can do here on the show with the support that we get. And we wouldn't be able to do it without any of you. So thank you so much to the Wise Old Man tier. We love you guys so much. Now, shouting out the KBD tier. You guys are awesome as well. Starting out with Broke70. Oxie's dad. my dad, all of our dad. Hi. Cloud Kicker, Dicky Bird, XP Enjoyer. Is it EXP Enjoyer? XP Enjoyer? I just say XP. EXP Enjoyer. GIM Stones, Imby Jones, Josh M, Lil Drakey, the Lord Jake himself, Mark, aka iSteam, Rylithian, SatanBot666, Soggy Waffles, Seth Shep, Skooma92, Spartan Fire, Taco Ninja, The Big G Jordy, The Crayola Crayon, and Toast No Toast. Again, thank you so much to everybody who supports us over on Patreon. If you would like to join the Patreon at any tier that we have, going from $1 all the way up to $25, you can do that. Like I said earlier, search for patreon.com/Xpwaste. Or if you're on Patreon, I'm sure you can search Xpwaste and find us there. Now it is time for the community question.
The return.
I'm very excited.
Community question is finally back, folks.
It's back and not going anywhere, at least for foreseeable future. I don't know. Last week we asked you guys, which of the ruinous powers are you most excited for? We got a couple of answers here. I don't think it was it posted on YouTube? I don't think it was actually posted on YouTube.
No, because I always forget to put the community question on YouTube. Because you can't like comment on a video before it's posted.
Right.
So like I'll queue it up for either 2 a.m. when I'm in bed or 7 a.m. when I'm getting up to leave for work. And like at the for even numbered weeks, if the community question arrives late, it's because Michael went and did it. Because like when I wake up and I'm groggy and I'm going to work, my first thought isn't, oh right, the community question. It's I'd rather die than be awake for work at this time. So if it doesn't get posted on YouTube early or it takes too long, that's 100% on me. Because you'll notice it almost always happens with even numbered episodes, which are the ones I edit. So,
or I think I usually wake up, I'm sitting on the toilet, I'm getting ready for my day, you know, as you do in the morning, and I'll usually be on my phone, like posting at Xpwasters. It's Thursday. Enjoy the episode, and then I'll go to YouTube and I'll post it, and I just forgot. So we have answers, and I will read them to you now. So Seymour says Berserker, so I can spend less money on super attack potions and Annihilate since I'm too broke for Rigor. Huh.
That is a good point. Like, holy shit. Hold on. We never even considered that. Rigor is like Grandmaster 35 mil. Okay, yeah, but like Rigor only takes 74 prayer, which really isn't that hard to get. So are Berserker, Annihilate, and Devastate, or whatever the three are they going to be like a tier 95 prayers?
I hope so.
Because at that point, Rigor is going to plummet. Well, I don't know if it'll plummet, but like if the Ruinous powers shape up to be just better than the standard spellbook, even with the damage output prayers, that's crazy. I never even thought of that. Who gave that response?
Seymour,
yeah. Damn, dude, I never even thought of that.
Nathan G says, I'm excited for the new drops that unlock new prayers like prayer scrolls. Money sign, money sign, money sign. But also hoping that the extra DPS may help speed up the hard combat achievement grind. The hard combat achievements, I'm almost done with them. I say almost done. I have made slight progress since the last time we talked.
We went from what, like 1 KC at Kriara to what, like 13 or 14?
16. Yeah. So we're a fraction of the way there. Finally, for the go ahead.
To say that's a decent point. Like, if these prayers are so powerful, the ones that we just talked about, are they going to come in the form of prayer scrolls that are dropped from bosses? Who knows?
They definitely could. I think they've kind of set a precedent that do they want to get rid of? I honestly don't know.
Precedent for what?
Precedent for like the raids drops, the prayer scrolls, the higher level prayers being unlocked. But they've also set the precedent that like prayers can come from quests and just be auto unlocked, like piety and chivalry.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I kind of prefer if they don't do a scroll drop, because if that's on the unique drop table for these bosses, eventually it's going to face the same problem that Rigor and Augury did, where like Augury was like 600k for a little while, you know, unless they immediately item sync them, which I know they just won't do. So I mean, they'll be really expensive to start because not everyone will have them, but I would kind of prefer if they're just locked behind a high prayer level. Like I would prefer these to be tier 93, 94, 95. as opposed to like a prayer scroll drop. I don't know though.
Yeah. Makes it worth it.
Mhm.
Finally, for the community question, Mockcat says, maybe Rejuvenation or Glacius's Vow, since you could have magical melee damage. Otherwise, they don't seem interesting. For a podcast, and he's answering the fun question, Mud Knuckles and the Master Chef from Tutorial Island.
Oh my god, yes. Because I think Mud Knuckles is the chef from Recipe for Disaster, the Goblin Chef. That would be pretty funny. Yeah, because he's the one who you like blow up, and he's like, "Oh my god, this is the greatest dish I've ever tasted in my entire life." And the Master Chef, who's like dedicated his life to helping people cook, is gonna be like, "What the?"
The guy that tells you you're like basically a peasant because you cooked a fish.
Yeah, you cooked a shrimp on a fire.
Bread.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's a good answer. That's a good one. That's going to do it for the community question. Thank you so much to everybody who did answer. If you want to answer this week's question, it will be, what is something that you have started, but you've not finished because of lack of motivation or otherwise? We want to give you some motivation next week.
Ah, damn. Okay.
Yeah.
He's coming out swinging. Mima in the recording booth chat just says, man.
You can find that community question on the community question section on Spotify, or guaranteed there will be a pinned comment on this YouTube video.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you,
we will
RadishBoy,
add the caveat that like it can be about RuneScape. We're not asking like
Not IRL stuff.
like why haven't you finished school? Like you don't have to get into like that kind of RuneScape. Let's keep it to RuneScape. What have you been putting off in RuneScape?
If you want to post IRL stuff, it's totally fine. Just know this is a public forum. So, Oxie, I think now is the time for everybody's favorite section in this section. It's like the subsection. There you go. Take it away,
baby. It's Achievement of the Week time. We're kicking things off with the miscellaneous because, disappointingly enough, I don't think we have any quest capes this week. At least none that I saw on the levels and achievements chat. But we have 2 diary capes. We have Skull MN, who changed his name to Spoon MN, and I thought, wow, that's crazy, dude. There's a skull and a spoon. That's wild. And I'm like, wait a minute. And I had to like click on the name to like say, I'm like, oh, it is the same person.
Can I tell you a secret? That was me who changed his name.
Oh, you mumpty. Absolute mumpty.
He's a spoon.
What did he spoon?
Golden spoon. Everything. He's green logged like almost all of the Wildy bosses.
I've got Wildy bosses green logged. As he probably is a spoon. I'm not gonna lie, but in addition to Spoon MN here that Michael changed, we also have Burn Up got their diary cape this week as well. Congratulations to the both of you. Now it's just the max cape for skills. So have fun. Speaking of skills, we have lots of them this week. A lot of people got a lot of 99s. Cruising through the list, we've got Fortimus achieved 99 thieving, Ice 9 Chills achieved 99 range, M. Scade achieved 99 strength. I was at that party. It was a good time. Evasive Ibu achieved 99 fishing. This man, I think he's only got one more 99. I think it's fire making. So I think if he's not maxed by the time this episode comes out, he'll probably be on the list next week for getting the maximum skill cape. So is Your Savior Sync. I have him written down here as 99 Sync because I don't remember what 99 he got last night. They were talking about maxing or something, and he popped a 99, and it said 2275 total level. And everyone was like, holy shit, you're close. So I don't remember what 99 you got, Sync, but you're close to the max cape. So we might get the double max cape next week. We are not sure. Continuing on with the 99s, Suffix, who I think it wasn't White Smoke, Isaac. He recently changed his name in Discord, but he's been around for a little while. He's one of our local raiders. He got 99 mage. I think he actually got it in TOA, and it threw off the butterfly too. Toaster Bath got 99 attack. Lord Maticus got 99 fishing with a friend. Sin got 99 thieving. Evasive Ibu also got 99 thieving. Why did I put Evasive Ibu on there twice? That's weird. Normally I just put the 99s together and then not write the names twice, but oh well. OG Scuba with a double 99 as well this week. 99 HP and 99 range at Giant Mole because I am tormented by this community.
Did you see everybody else with him there?
Oh, trust
Everybody.
me, I saw.
I knew you weren't going to call it out, but
I
I want to call out all you absolute legends for wearing the nearly undisputed best mole setup you can wear. Every single person at the party was wearing it.
I shall never escape the hell I have created for myself. There is no greater hell than that which we make for ourselves. Speaking of hell, 99 agility is hell, but Vintney did it. He got 99 agility, and finally,
transition.
Which happened during the episode, Voru got 99 farming. Also
First
during
99.
the episode, White Coast got 2K total. So
Hell yeah.
Yeah, y'all are killing it out there with the episode achievements. Moving into combat, I'm just gonna go on the record and say that somebody got their first corrupted gauntlet this week while we were recording. Completely missed who it was. I saw the gauntlet cape pop up while I was talking to Radish. I didn't type and say GZ because I was talking to Radish, and I didn't catch what name it was to put an achievement of the week. So if you got your first corrupted gauntlet kill between 12 p.m. and 4 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time on March 26th, congratulations, but for the life of me, I don't remember who you are. I'll probably shout you out next week again. But shifting to how we always start things with the fire capes, we have 3 this week. Trashed Turtle, Beats by Steve, and Epic Epoch got their first fire capes this week. Epic Epoch took the screenshot in front of the Inferno, and I've known Epic's been around for a while, and I don't think Epic is Inferno ready. So I just saw a screenshot from him outside the Inferno. I went, hold up, what? And I got really confused for a second. I'm like, did this man just get an Inferno cape after he just got a fire cape? It was a fire cape screenshot. So threw me off a little bit. You had me in the first half, not gonna lie. But
he's probably there to sacrifice it. Wait, don't you have to sacrifice a cape to get into that area, or just show you have one?
You have to show a fire cape to get into Moral Wreck. You have to sacrifice a fire cape to get into the Inferno.
Gotcha.
But you only have to sacrifice one. Somebody asked me a couple weeks ago, they're like, yeah, it's crazy. You got to sacrifice fire cape every time you go in the Inferno. I'm like, no, you don't. It's just the one-time sacrifice. It's not all.
That would be insane balancing.
That'd be gross.
They would have to make the Infernal cape god tier.
I mean, it is god tier. They just have to make it more so, you know? But yeah, those 3 got their first fire capes. Congratulations to you guys. Cruising along with the first this week. Jaharis got their first Fazani's Nightmare, as did our boy Iron Hyla, or Toxic Hyla now. 99-inch Wonder killed their first Zulrah, as did Jimothy. Was Jimothy the one that popped up last night with the Zulrah scales and the hard diary complete? I think it was.
I don't think I was playing last night, was I?
I think it was, because I was raiding and I saw the Zulrah scale. We always call it out too, which is like that's part of the reason why I love this section so much, is because it started to inspire the community to shout shit out as well. I'll be in VC with people and we'll be in the middle of doing content. We were doing 300s yesterday, and in the middle of the 300s, someone's like, "Oh, look, Zulrah scale collection log." We're like, "Hell yeah, good job!" Because we know Zulrah scales are your first Zulrah kill, first fire cape, fighter torso. So I think that part's been really cool. Blamp has 2 firsts this week. Blamp got their first gauntlet and their first Zulrah. So they're really crushing that Tiranwin Western Provinces region over there. To wrap things up, we do have some combat achievements. Hove 01 got their easy combat achievements done during the episode. Ryukusen completed their hard diary, and joining the Jad Helm Elite, we have our boy Hyla once again. Shouted out twice in the same episode, or twice in the same achievement of the week. So we have another Jad Helm enjoyer. I just think it's a cool helmet. It doesn't carry the same status as the Verzik and the Zuck, but I think I've just grown so attached to it, and I've enjoyed the boss Jad so much over the years that I think for me, the Jad helm will always look the best, even when I'm wearing the Verzik helm.
Mm-hmm.
I think it will still look better. And finally, to really wrap things up, I have been informed by Tiki in the recording booth chat that Pet This Run was the one who got their first gauntlet cape. So congratulations, Pet This Run. that is going to wrap it up for Achievement of the Week this week. If you did something awesome and you want to tell us about it, head over to what is undisputedly the greatest Discord community for RuneScape in the entire world. Discord.gg/OSRSTNL. We have people doing everything. Quests, low-level bossing content. We have people running Barbarian Assault, Volcanic Mind. We have people doing Theater of Blood. We have people doing their daily 450 TOA runs. We have people, doing high-level Slayer, maxing, questing. Doesn't matter. Come hang out. It's awesome here. Objectively, we're fantastic, So come do that. Like I said, the link will be in the description down below. Go give that a join. Now, Michael, normally I would say it's fun question time. But
we don't have our guest here, so it is time now to do a little of a teleportation, but not. It's an incantation I've been working on, where I say "bam," and now it is time for the fun question. Thank you for listening to all of Just Me and Oxie ramble. That was
such a kick-ass transition too, Michael. That was one of the best transitions you've ever done.
I loved it.
This isn't me preemptively applying pressure to you, because we definitely didn't have to go back and record that later today. So this isn't me applying pressure saying, Michael, that was, and listeners, you guys agree, that was the greatest, smoothest, least awkward transition Michael has ever given.
And honestly, if I can as a guest, I would just appreciate if we cut to something else so that he could do another transition back into it, just to tell us that he knows what he's doing. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Perfect. So as you were saying, RadishBoy, about something completely unrelated to what we're talking about.
I love SpongeBob so much. And one thing SpongeBob has done in the past is they had a question, or they had a song dedicated to fun. And you know what else is really fun? The fun question. So here we are.
Here we are.
That's
I gotta give it to you. That wasn't the worst we've ever seen.
I love it. I was at first I was like Bikini Bottom, and then I was like, yes. And then we got there together.
It's not butter.
Look at that.
It was really good.
So listeners and viewers and patrons, everyone here, it is time for the fun question, and we have an in-house question. Radish has so graciously given us something that
I do have to give credit where credit is due.
This is true.
Hootie Tootie, cool dude. He posted a question not too long ago, and I just love it. And he took it for a joke spin, but I personally was like, this is like the questions I used to ask as a kid. But
so
he
I'm
asked,
challenge you before you ask the question. I'm going to challenge you to give a different answer than what you gave on Twitter. If you hadn't already thought of that.
Oh gosh. Okay. Yeah. I will.
But ask the question, and I'm ready to hear it for the second time, not the first time, really.
Yep. You're stranded on an island, but can bring 3 RuneScape items with you. So real life, you're on an island. Oh no, I'm on an island. And but you have to bring 3 items from the world of RuneScape, from Gielinor, onto the island to, I'm assuming, help aid you in living. It says, which items would you choose? Only one rule, no teleporting. Now, I kind of add another rule, is like you can't choose stackable items. We're bringing specific, intentional items, right?
Yeah.
So you can't say like a stack of whatever a good stackable item would be.
A stack of sharks?
A max stack, yeah.
A max stack of food?
Yeah. Okay, so I can't use what okay. I'm going to say what I chose.
Oh yeah. Let's hear what you actually chose. I want to hear the theory crafting.
I'll pick some the theory crafting. I like that. So, I said the Grim Caller's Can, Bofa Sea, and an Infernal Axe.
Okay.
Right? Oh. Unlimited water, unlimited ability to hunt, and unlimited fires.
Okay.
Well, posing that we have trees, which I'm assuming there would be trees. But
okay. Man, that's actually really good.
Thank you, dude. I spent like a good 6 minutes on that, and for a Twitter
really
response, that's a big time.
All I'm saying is six minutes is a long time.
Yeah, in the realm of the internet, man, that's like
perfectly
an eternity.
amount of time for any activity.
Yeah. But I do say, okay, now that I take that into consideration, now if you guys have an option, I guess just throw it out. But for me,
we're talking 3 items.
Yeah, I've got 2 so far. I think I need one more.
Man. I'm going to go off the dome like I always do.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Okay. The first one I thought of is my not Infernal, my Fire Maxscape, because I have to think that thing is at least a little bit warm.
It is. It is. It's known as a Warren Imid for wintertime, so it's got to be warm.
So it's warm. So it's going to, on those nights where it's like blisteringly cold, it's going to be a good blanket. But the Maxscape also has all of the other skill capes, and within those skill capes, you can search for items. So if I needed a pestle and mortar for some reason, 99 Herblore got me, baby. That's a great reward, Jagex. I've got a crossbow within the fletching cape I can search for. I think that's the only 2 that have items. But I'm set because
Mithril Grapple. You can get one of those from something.
Mithril Grapple.
You can get it from something, I think.
It is a fletching cape. It's a Mithril Grapple in a bronze crossbow from the fletching cape. So I don't know if I'm wearing it in real life, if it would actually give me like any of the boosts that you get, like HP regeneration or anything like that. But I got to think it has some magical abilities. So Max Cape with
I would give you that.
Fire Cape on it. I think some sort of like this is too early to say for like old school, but like in RuneScape 3, I think the answer would be like your tool belt. But just some sort of like pick one of the useful tools and I've got it. I can't say Infernal Axe because obviously that's
we're not going to go with. We're not going to go with that one. Got it.
Yeah, we can repeat items obviously, but like that's a S tier.
What about Infernal Harpoon? You got that too?
That's true.
But you actually have to catch an item with a harpoon, and that's kind of hard.
I feel like harpoon fishing in real life is a lot more difficult than they make it out to be in RuneScape. We've had this conversation before, where like the action of standing all the way up, dropping to one knee, harpooning the water, and pulling a full-size shark out, even if it's like a black tip reef shark, those things are like 3 or 4 feet long, and you're just yanking it out with one hand. Yeah. Like, that takes a lot of work to fish like you would in RuneScape, but even in real life, like, fish spook pretty easily. They're hard to hit with a harpoon, so it's risk versus reward for sure, especially if you get that, like, cooking proc, you get a perfectly cooked fish. Oh, that'd be great. We just gotta get good at hitting them.
I was just informed in the recording booth chat that the Fire Maxscape doesn't have any of the perks as the actual Maxscape, and I don't know why.
You trade that for the warmth and the
cosmetic.
So maybe I'll just say forget the Fire Cape aspect. I'm taking my Maxscape, Infernal Harpoon, and I think the last item I want to be a comfort item, and I'm taking my Bloodhound Pet because I know it's going to be another mouth to feed. But like on the cold nights or like those days where you're really bored, just a long walk on the beach with your pup, throw in a stick, that would keep you sane. Another companion for those days so you don't go absolutely mad.
I'm just going to risk it and hope that I make a friend on the island.
True.
That's what I'm going to do.
Mm-hmm. Like a beach ball.
Get an IRL pet drop, yeah.
Like a beach ball, a volleyball, yep.
A volleyball. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he tried. Sometimes you got to give him points for putting the effort.
Sometimes it's been like many years since I've seen that movie. You know?
Yeah.
I think it's been at least 10 years since I've seen Castaway. So I tried.
Fair.
Anyway, who's next?
I think if I were to do this, right? Keeping with the idea that things do keep their magical abilities, I'm gonna probably go with like the regen bracelet.
Oh.
Damn it. I was going to say the same thing. The regen bracelet.
Keep you healthy.
Yeah. I just feel like that's probably at least a good idea. I don't know what I'm regenerating, but something. Also,
the way I thought of it was the regen bracelet, like, in theory, it's meant to keep you topped off and healthy. So meaning if you get sick for less periods of time. Like you don't have to worry about sickness.
Yeah.
You naturally heal from wounds very quickly. Because like,
yeah, sure.
I'm a tough guy. I'm not tough enough to withstand the wilderness of an island without hurting myself. So I feel like a regen bracelet would be really nice to like repair wounds pretty quick. So that's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like, you're right. You know, like if you scrape your knee, it takes normally, 15 days for the body to regenerate and make sure that's gone. With a regen bracelet, I'm assuming it'll just be
they
half.
Can do it in like
it just,
1 or 2.
Or sure,
awesome.
there we go. And then probably the Ring of Endurance. I'm a big guy, so I need all the help I can get. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And locator orb for when things get rough. I'm just kidding.
Damn.
That's dark.
Damn.
No, just kidding.
He said, and if it all goes to shit, I'm gonna go. If it all goes to shit, I'm gonna guzzle a rock cake. Tell me a little bit more about that. I can write some things down here.
Right.
I think some sort of weapon. I forgot to mention a weapon of sorts because you mentioned the bofa, but like a fang or some sort of like dragon longsword would be pretty good.
I feel like just a
dragon
standard
weapons don't degrade like that easily. They're really tough.
But also, I would wonder know how a weapon that had a special attack, like how would that work in the real? Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
True. The brine saber, because you're gonna be
brine saber might be the best. You know, that'd be good. Oh, I like that. So if I did pick a weapon, now that I think about it, it would have to be a dragon spear, P++.
Oh, definitely. Spear on an island.
Would you want P++ though? Because in theory, wouldn't the P++ get into the food you're trying to eat?
Well, poison and venom is different. You can, technically, unfortunately, the game is incorrect. Venom, you want to venom somebody. You don't want to poison.
Yeah, you don't
poison them as if they ingest it. Like you can literally drink rattlesnake venom. In theory.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. But apparently, but if it's in your bloodstream, then you're effed. Which is the difference between venom and poison. And that's why when every single time somebody's like, this snake's poisonous, I was like, nope, it's not.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
So here's a question with the weapons, right?
Okay.
How are we feeling about weapon charges?
That's why I went with the Bofa C.
So,
because then we don't have to worry about that. So anything out with charges, you get your charges. And then you're down. Yo.
Oof.
You just got to take it for its face value.
You don't need a scythe, Oxie. You don't need a scythe.
Well, I wasn't talking
You could take
about
a scythe still.
I
just got to charge it with blood,
take
brother.
A scythe. I would.
I don't know whose
I
blood.
wouldn't take a scythe.
You think it's a vegan scythe? And by vegan, I mean pescatarian? Is it going to use fish blood?
Pescatarian scythe. No. Well, that's perk of the regen bracelet. Do a little bloodletting like the 1400s. Charge the scythe. Pop that regen bracelet on.
We got it. We got it. We're good.
No, I mean, I think max charges. Everything is fully maxed out.
When
max
you get there,
charges. When I get there. I think I'm going to have to take the risk then. So my 3 items are going to be a toxic blowpipe, because I feel like I can get close enough to something to like shoot it with a blowpipe.
Yeah, well, that's charges, but you're saying your toxic blowpipe's going to have max charges and max ammo?
I mean, if we're talking that, I'm taking the blowpipe away. If it's not going to be a fully loaded, fully charged blowpipe, I mean, yeah, that's tough because ammunition is going to be a hard thing to maintain.
You could learn to fletch darts of sorts.
Yeah, could.
It's not unreasonable to think that you can't make darts for your blowpipe.
Yeah, but like if I run out of 16,000 dragon darts, then what am I doing? Like making wooden darts? Like I don't have access to like metal out there or anything like that.
But also, you don't use if your next item is like an accumulator, you have 80% more darts.
And random metal trinkets I pick up.
That's true. Ooh, that's actually good. It's just like something that's like spawning items that you just didn't expect to have.
Yeah, perfect. No, but I think the first 2 that I was going with, right? Number 1 is the Slayer helm. So I don't like when my ears are cold. I don't know what possible substances are going to be present, right?
Okay.
Are we like assuming the Slayer helm protects you from everything, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
So the Slayer helm, any noxious fumes, any loud sounds that might hurt your eardrums, could you wear it underwater and use it as a scuba mask? Who knows, right? And it not only does it keep you warm, I'm going to take my Jad helm, so I'm stylish as fuck when I'm out on this island.
Fair, yeah.
I think the next thing I'm going to bring is, in the realm of style, I'm going to take Climbing Boots G. Because I'm going to need to navigate for a long way. And let me tell you, I do not want to walk barefoot across an island. So I'm going to take some boots that are specifically designed for traversing tough terrain.
That's a good call.
And I'm going to take the Climbing Boots G with me. If we can't have the blowpipe, or I was going to say the regen bracelet was my original third. If we can't take the blowpipe, and the regen bracelet is already taken by another survivor on this island, right?
Kill him for it.
I kill him for it. I mean, I think of all the items in the game that, I could think of. Obviously, magic isn't going to work, right? Because I was like, oh, I'll just take humidify. That's not going to work very well.
Well, yeah, because you'd need the runes for it, and you'd need the ability to be able to do it. You'd need to understand the knowledge. I would imagine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I don't know much about magic as it is in real life. I've got some kids who try to do card tricks every single day, but they don't do them very well. Boy, what else would I take with me? Yeah, you took my regen bracelet from me. That was tough. I think in the realm of where Michael was going with capes, I'm torn between the infernal cape to keep me warm, or this is definitely a cop out, the construction cape. So I can build myself a little house every day and just stay inside of it for a little while if I need.
Oh, what is the emote?
Immediate access to shelter.
With the emote?
Yep.
Oh, that's funny, yeah. Well, I would also imagine if you bring the cape, then also your knowledge base would be there too, right?
I mean, yeah, by that logic, absolutely. Sure. The construction cape is fantastic. So I'm going with the con cape.
You can build a mean table on that island and then destroy it really quickly.
Yeah, that's true.
There's no knowledge you need of actual construction to get 99 construction, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'll bring that then. I'll bring a construction cape because then I can make myself a shelter and I can make any little doodads I need to help me along. I've got my Slayer helmet to keep me protected from anything that might be coming at me, and it keeps my head safe. So if I do fall, I would imagine the Slayer helmet is also a helmet that will protect from impact. And then my climbing boots, so I can traverse pretty much anywhere, and I'll be good to go. So that's what I'm taking with me.
Yeah,
I don't know my chances of survival, but
yeah, I don't either.
I'm giving it a try.
I don't either.
Hootie tootie. Thank you so much for that question. That was freaking awesome. I love how we've definitely had questions of what are you bringing from the real world into RuneScape, but I never even considered you're stuck on an island and then what are you bringing from RuneScape? Mm-hmm. It's been 101 episodes. We may have had a fun question in the past, and some person who's listened to every episode 3 times is like, you guys did that already, Michael. What are you talking about? I don't remember. I don't
think our viewers are that nasty.
That's true. That's very true. We love you. So it is the end of the episode. I would like to give Radish a second to do any plugs. So this is where do the people find you? Obviously, you said you stream on Twitch.
I do.
Where can they find you on Twitch?
So just twitch.tv/RadishBoy. That's just kind of like my handle. It's what I do. I do a little bit of YouTube stuff every once in a while, once in a blue, but most of the time, you can find me over on Twitch. Nice. And I do the Twitter. I like the Twitter. If you guys are interested, if you've made it this far, then maybe you saw the cosplay stuff. But yeah, if you're looking for anything like that, you're going to be dealing with the guy with I'm setting the standard, raising the bar,
raising it. Yeah. As far as any of your guides or plugins, where can people find those once everything's been released?
I'm assuming it'll just be on the hub. I've never submitted or completely made one, legit.
Gotcha.
So if you are somebody in the community and your brain is super big and wrinkly and not small and smooth, I need your help. I need people that are willing to do and have good, earnest, breakdown discussions of why is this? We just did one, and my mod just made this coded this DPS chart to say like, how much DPS are you gathering from a specific monster, and what's the fastest way? Should you train it by 1 attack level and then 1 strength level, or should you go 5 attack levels and 5 strength, or just do all strength? And it's different. It's different for every monster. And so it's this entire data sheet. It's brilliant. It's fantastic. So we're trying to just push the limit of what is what people have done or thought of, and I would just love all the help I could get, and we might not take your opinions, and there's definitely things that I value more on a hardcore than I do just basic XP per hour. You have to take in consideration like supplies, Winter Todd's a solo Winter Todd. Is that more valuable than the XP it provides if you do the mass world? Like we do that stuff, because the supplies it brings, is that going to save you time in the future?
Yeah. So do you guys communicate on Discord? Is there a Discord people can join to
most
contribute?
of the time it's just through Twitch. We do have a Discord. I do got a Discord, and you can find that just by typing !Discord in Twitch chat. But most of the time, like we have like theory crafting streams.
Oh, I love that.
And we're in that moment right now because I'm getting to the part where the first iteration of the plugin is like coming to a close, which for most Ironmen, they think that they're, you rush to do Winter Todd, and that is so archaic, like that thought process. And if you're thinking, well, I thought that was the most efficient, then twitch.tv/RadishBoy.
Hell yeah.
That's what you want to do.
Alrighty. Thank you so much, dude. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for hanging out with us.
Yeah, man. This was a blast.
If you want to come back at any point, once the guide and the plugin is fully fleshed out and done, and you want to talk about it more, I'd love to have you on. So,
yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool.
I love it.
If you guys want to hear more about Xpwaste, you can follow us on our socials. If you're on YouTube right now, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Answer the community question that we posted there in the pinned comment. That's about it. Xpwaste.shop. Forgot to mention we have merch. And you can catch us next week. I love you all. Catch you later. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.